Hello and welcome to Dwarven Forge Live. This is On the Anvil, episode
16. Episode 16.
Nailed it every time. This is the show where we take you behind the scenes at Dwarven Forge, show you a little of our creative process, hang out, chat, talk terrain, show off the latest, and what else do we do on this show, Chris?
We forget titles. We interact with that, I guess. Hey, did you already say that?
I don't know. I don't remember. I forgot the title.
The title's Into the Wildlands.
Woo! So I am
yeah.
Nate, and this who is this guy over here?
This is Chris.
It's Chris, because Mace is currently. Should we reveal her secret location, or is it too secret?
I'd be a little worried about it.
Okay, top secret location.
Yeah, I wouldn't want people to track her down.
Okay, so Mace is at a secret underground bunker. So Chris is with us tonight, and Chris is actually the reason this whole Twitch channel started. Right?
Yeah, kind of. It was a coalition of people wanting to get Twitch going for a while, and it was just kind of.
Yeah, but you were the one that was obnoxious about it. You were just you were relentless. You're like, listen, this is a thing. I believe in this. Laid it out and wouldn't let it go. And you were right.
Yeah, if I've got one trait, it's obnoxious. You can't fault me for not being obnoxious.
Persistent. Yeah.
Persistent is a nice way to put it. Yeah.
So tonight we're gonna talk about all about our upcoming Kickstarter, the Wildlands. We're gonna tell you the date. We're gonna I don't know what else we're gonna do about it. We're gonna go through a bunch of it. But first we have a bunch of things. Right?
It's gonna be a big info dump, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what do we? First, we're gonna do some news, though, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of things to cover. The first off is this is the first stream that we've done since we've wrapped up the Build a Better Future.
Wait! We got it official. You ready? Hold on.
Oh, we gotta make it official.
Yeah, wait. News. Okay, now we're in the news segment. You see how different everything feels?
That's the most metal news intro I think I've seen.
Yeah. All right. So now we're feeling news. All right. So what's the news? What's the news?
Well, first off, this is the first stream that we've done since we've wrapped up the Build a Better Future initiative. So everybody should have been notified about whether or not they won any of the they're getting any of the gifts from that. We ended at $17,666.
Woo!
Which is a nice round number to end on.
Well, we were hoping to raise 3 or 5K and raise 3 times that. It's amazing. Wait,
yeah,
5
all
times.
Things told, it surpassed our expectations in terms of how generous a lot of people were. Because it was our first time doing something like this, so it was really hard to kind of gauge exactly what the response would be for something like that. But a lot of people really kind of came together, both on the people partnering with us to provide gifts and spread the word, and also just you guys showing up to help us fund this cause.
It was really nice seeing so many familiar names in the donor lists and nice little notes from everybody.
That was one of the things Nina said at one point. She's like, "Hey, if you guys ever feeling bad, just go to that page and just scroll through the comments people were leaving on the GoFundMe." She literally
put that in Slack. It was it was really nice.
She's still ready to go look at them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and it was really cool to see other industry folks jump in and help out. We launched with Die Hard Dice and Elderwood Academy, and who else was in the initial? Norse Foundry, Nord Games.
Yeah, there's the 2 Norse ones.
Yeah, and then
which I thought was funny.
Wizards of the Coast showed up and threw stuff in, and Hero Forge threw stuff in, and Level Up Dice, and it just was boom, 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 boom. Kraken Dice came in and donated $1,000. It was really heartwarming to see all these everybody sort of come together and try and help. So thank you for everybody that participated. And we're gonna do another after Wildlands. We'll do another round of this. We're not sure what form it'll be. Same sort of setup. We don't know what charity it'll be for yet, but we'll keep you posted because this was a big success and we gave out a lot of gifts. There was some like crazy stuff.
It's
Rook and the
it was
Raven.
yeah. Looking at the size of the spreadsheet when it came to just managing all that stuff, it ended up being a just pretty much in every sense the scale of this thing ended up being a lot more than we were expecting. Uh,
And it's just so
yeah.
nice to see so many people passionate about trying to make the world a better place. So thank you guys. Woo! What else? What else? What other news do we have?
Uh, First off, I got some news saying that your microphone is a little bit hot. If you
Uh,
could turn it down just a little bit. But on top of that, we have a new build of the month bundle in the store. It's
how's
for
this?
Nodestone Unchurned. Uh,
Unturned.
yeah, it's a pun.
It's really clever,
Yeah,
right?
I'm not sure if you're aware, Nate.
Yeah, I didn't write it or anything.
Yeah, the title that you picked for it
It's
ended up being
brilliant.
pretty funny,
What
actually.
are the chances? What are they?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm glad you get to experience it
I could have
as an audience member.
I could have a future in this. So we did. What did we do? Do you know how much the bundle is offhand? Two
How much it is? I
two
can look that up
thirty.
very quickly.
So we offered, if you go check out, Chris will throw a link in the notes. We did our build of the month is our second build of the month bundle. I think it's like $230 or something, and you get a $30 gift certificate, gift card thrown in there. It has a whole bunch of. If you don't have any city builder stuff, it's got a whole big collection of stone city builder stuff. So it's the cheapest way to get that stuff outside of the Kickstarter from
Yeah,
4 years ago. Yeah.
you were like right on the money. $237.
Woo! All right. So it's and we've already sold a bunch of those. So it seems like the build of the month bundles have been pretty popular, and we're
Yeah,
going. Yeah. What?
it's been nice because like we've gotten like some pretty good feedback on them as well. People seem to be really into the idea of kind of selling our sets based around like concepts like this. It's
Yeah.
easy to understand. It's just kind of nice. It's like buying a Lego set.
Was
Kind of.
also is super fun to do. Oh, how's the mic level? By the way, are we in a better? Are we in a better place? Anyway, it's super fun to do these, right? We do it live on Twitch. We do the initial build, and a bunch of you guys watching just throw in all these cool ideas into the mix, and a bunch of them make it into the final build, and it's I don't know. I've really been enjoying doing it on Twitch. So I'm bummed we're gonna take a couple of months off. Well, we have to. I mean, I'm not bummed, but I am. But I miss it already. But we just don't have bandwidth for it. But we'll be back in September or October after Wildlands is over, and we'll do it all again and do another bundle and see how it goes.
If you do like the live building stuff, though, I'm sure we are still going to be doing building on here. It'll just have a different focus,
Oh, it's gonna be bonkers.
basically.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it won't be build of the month, but
yeah. It'll be
yeah.
build of the day.
The mic is good now as well.
All right.
Um,
What other news do we have?
well, we have a big congratulations for Mike Shea, one of our friends over on Kickstarter. I believe he got through every one of the stretch goals he had. I
Yeah,
believe I saw.
yeah. They sent out an
Yeah,
update said we're out of stretch goals. 69K, which is woo.
nice.
I wonder if that was his max. I forgot what his previous. Forgot what Grendel Root and Return of the Lazy did, but it's a great finisher. He's such a nice guy. He's a longtime DF collector, and he's at every convention back when there were conventions. Remember those? It was like he's just awesome. Always has a smile and is just turning out tons of content. I'm very excited for him and James and Scott. So it's cool. I can't wait for it.
It's gonna be some good stuff. Everything
Yeah.
he's been showing, they just had like their they had their backers vote on a couple other like little encounters to add in, and it's looking really good. I'm excited for it.
And monsters, the
Um,
Kraken, and the yeah. Well, I think
yeah.
you might be able to even like late pledge if you send a nice note or something. It's fantastic layers. Uh,
Are you sure? Are you sure they'll accept their money if they contact
yeah, yeah,
them?
pretty sure. Yeah, Mike is good that way. Yeah, so
Yeah.
throw a link in there for those guys.
All right. And then, speaking of Kickstarters, our Hellscape is getting
Woo!
very close to shipping. It's like all in the
Oh, it's
water over
nice.
to us. It should be here very soon. I think you said like 2 weeks for most of it.
The bulk, it's yeah. We got an initial shipment of a few random add-on sets, and then we have the bulk of everything is landing in sometime in the next 2 weeks, and should start shipping out thereafter, which is really exciting. And we're gonna look at some of that stuff actually right after news. I think we're gonna unbag some stuff. I have a few bits here we'll look at just to get excited. And then I'm gonna do a proper unboxing when we get the encounters. We'll do an unboxing video. Um, so yeah, Hellscape almost out. And then we have one on the what's on the tail end of Hellscape?
Then we've got some updates regarding Plaguestone as well. Sorry, I just
Woo!
put the Fantastic Layers Kickstarter in chat.
Yay!
Yeah, we have some updates regarding the Plaguestone, both when it comes to the building aspect of it and to the ship. We have a shipping update, I believe, right?
Yes. So hopefully, I think I'm not confirmed. So I think by the end of this week we'll have billed everybody that had an outstanding invoice. It was a pre-order, so you gave us a little bit of money up front, and then you owe us the rest if you want us to ship it to you. Oh, my computer! I have a message or something. So I think we'll get the rest of those out this week, but I'm not 100% sure. It should be this week, or latest should be the end of next week. But I believe we're trying to get them all out this week, so give everybody some breathing room before Wildlands, which would be great. And then that stuff is going to ship shortly, and shortly-ish, which means it's going to arrive in mid to late August, start shipping in September, we believe, somewhere around there. It's been, if I've learned anything through the crazy COVID pandemic, it's that everything takes longer than you think it's going to, including everything from the factory, everything in-house, everything. It's just everything's a little extra slow.
Yeah, things work a lot less efficiently when there's not really people there to do the job
Yeah.
as much.
Yeah. Across the boards. Turns
ultimately,
out.
I was afraid the delay was going to be a lot worse than it wound up being, but so I'm glad we are at least finally getting it out there.
Yeah. But everything the factory still they're not up to 100% speed, and our office isn't up to 100%. Nothing's really at 100% right now, but
yeah. But everything's still moving though. I am really excited to have Hellscape though. Like, this is the first time I'm going to be getting stuff, and I got way too much unpainted, and I'm dreading it at this point. But
you already have buyer's remorse, and it hasn't even landed yet.
Yeah, the more that I've like learned about painting since I got a bunch of unpainted, because I was like, oh, I can get so much more stuff if I get unpainted.
Yep.
And then especially like looking at just being able to like watch Aaron work on some of these pieces, and just be like, I'm gonna have to do that for every one of those things I ordered.
Weeks. Yeah.
It's gonna take me forever.
I still have KS1 stuff I haven't finished painting, and I never will. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that all of our news?
That's all the news. Yeah.
Do we need a news outro? Do we?
some kind of news outro.
The news, it just blows up.
The news logo sprouts legs, puts on a hat, and walks out the door.
The little cane keyboard cat plays it off.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do an unbagging. So this is I have a tote bag, the Hellscape tote bag here. Ooh, Dwarven Army. Janet made this, and Felipe made this. It's the Cerberus Warhound, and we have a few sets in here that Toby was QCing. So they've already been unboxed and unbagged. I'm gonna pour them out and just sort of look at some stuff so we can show it off, because yay, it's fun. All right, let's go to SimCam. Close. Uh-oh, wait, that's a bean. All right. Well, I guess you guys see this thing. All right. So, what do we want to look at first?
The volcano. I don't know what's in there.
I don't have it yet. Thanks, Chris.
I have no idea what's in there, so I can't really help you.
Yeah. Let's look at some terrain traits first. How about this? Ooh, look at this. We said lava stone. Man, I need the wider lens for this. This is the it's the lava stone, and this is River Styx, tormented souls in there. You know, the fun fact, it's very hard to see. There's faces of various members of the office in this thing. Janet had she got like a white T-shirt and pulled it over our faces and took photos of us like screaming through a white T-shirt and like comped them into. It's too hot. It's blowing out. Oh, I'm gonna turn this off.
I never knew that. That's really clever.
Yeah, you can see like there's some hands and some faces of the. You'd never know who was who or anything, but they're there. You can feel it. You can feel the screaming.
That's still one of my favorite effects. Is the like that with the light panel to make like a river in Hellscape. It's one of my like favorite shots in the video. It's one of my favorite.
It's fun. right? Like
Yeah.
light is. Yeah. Here's the magma turn. Man, I do not have the. Oh, when we I could try the overhead. See if the overhead cam is just a mess. Or oh yeah, wait. I'm gonna turn this off. Overhead's not so great either. Too hot. This webcams. I'm not a.
Webcams and DSLRs have basically exact opposite lighting philosophies,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So it's hard to find a middle ground between them.
Yep, there is none.
But
You know, these you can sort of see. I don't know. It's oversaturated on the.
those are definitely lava terrain trays.
Yeah, I'm super excited. These are like the flowing. Oh, here's what I was supposed to bring. I forgot the Hero Forge. Next, whenever we do this next thing.
Hero Forge. Yeah, let's say there's a secret for next time. But no, I'm just really excited to actually have my hands on this and like actually have like my own stuff to build with. Like,
woo! Yeah,
man, that is just really cool.
Get some. What's some of the backside of these? Oh, we made a miss. Oh, I see. It's this curve and a straight. So it's...
Are you gonna do like a quick build or just?
I could. I don't know what I have. I just. I just grabbed a bunch of. Let's go back to the close. Let's see. Let's get some close stuff, and then maybe we'll do a transition. So these are the lava. Oh, these are the transition ones. Oh, I should have gotten just the regular. Yeah, that's transitioning from regular stone to lava. Right there.
Factory paint looks like it came out pretty well.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Erin, it's the first time she's ever been excited by the factory paint. Right? She's always a little disappointed because it's not what she. Where the heck am I?
I mean, when you're a creative, there's always that thing where there's always like that ideal version in your head that is usually hard to actually.
Yeah, they can't match.
It's just in the real world, but
they can't match what she did. Well, let me pan this.
Wow.
Oh, you know what I forgot on that. Ugh.
I just love the gradient between the black and the gray. You kind of see like this is where things are getting more charred and.
Yeah, I kind of regret it in retrospect. I kind of wish everything had we'd just gone all black, like just embraced it. But it does look cool. But I was like, I don't know. I just sort of like.
I feel like it adds more like texture and depth to it when there's a.
It does. It's more interesting, but part of me just wants to like, you're gonna be in hell, just be in hell, like, just like, just go for it. We're like, but it's no, it looks fantastic. Like this is really, I'm fired up. All right, I got two of these. Oh, here. Okay, here's the non-transition version. Yeah. Do you think the natural ones are going to end up in hell?
We already did.
Oh.
That was a thing back in.
The gnomes sent you to hell or something, right?
So it was this tradition that Tyler made. It was like a cool thing to learn too, because it tied into like my character's backstory. It was basically the dwarves and gnomes have this like mining. They have like this country that's largely like they got like a city inside a mountain and all that stuff you would expect. But they had this tradition that dates back to like their founder, Eliana Hellpike, who found herself Hellpike, yeah, because she found a rift basically into the hells, like deep in the mines. She went in there and she made it back out with like treasure from hell basically. So they got this rite of passage that's about going in there and bringing treasure back from the hells. But you don't know where in the hells it's going to put you out. It's a random level every time. We wound up in Kanya, but we lived.
How? What level were you?
We were level 6 at the time.
Oh,
genuinely luck. So we ran into one conflict as we were trying to get out.
It was like land, and we're out.
Yeah, it was against an ice devil. It was against an ice devil. One of our characters, like 6 episodes earlier, our artificer, Liam, played by Miles, had lost an eye in a jousting tournament. And it was like this really like heavy, serious thing. But as an artificer, he then took it as like an opportunity to like, well, I'm just gonna build an eye. And we had this lodestone, which is a whole thing that we. It's like this homebrew magic thing we have where like you can break down the schools of magic and put them into these gems basically. So he made like an eye patch for himself that could cast eye bite. So literally, we
Nice.
got confronted by an ice devil at the end. He
He was
cast eye
like,
bite and he dropped it, and it just fell asleep. And
that's
then I rolled a
amazing.
natural 20 to like take its weapon out from under its body, and we got out of there like before it woke up. It was tense. It's one of my favorite things that we've done in our campaign.
Well, maybe you'll have to relive it now that
Well, unfortunately, it was Kanya, so the lava wouldn't really work for it.
just go
But
to Avernus, work your way down from the top. Really.
yeah, God, I love the way this looks. Ugh. You don't have any of the light panels there, do you?
No, that would require remembering to bring them back from the office. That would, no, I'm 0 for 2 on that. But
I
look
mean, at
how,
least you remembered the hellscape.
yeah, and look how good they look without like,
Even without it, looks great. Yeah.
yeah. That's what that was the goal.
I think one of my favorite things uh, about the lava river specifically is just the nature of the tiles and the fact that like it's like, oh, this is lava. It makes the whole which of this like what is the playable space of this piece like really obvious without it
Yes.
having to be a thing where like you can actually like see a grid. Like
Well,
it's really clear what's a playable space on this
and you
piece.
can and there is the grid, right? This is
Yeah,
this is
there
a
is
square.
a grid,
This
but like it feels super
one
organic.
square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square. Yeah, it's a nice it's best of both worlds. You got a
Yeah,
hidden organic grid, and man, that lava really tells you where you can and cannot walk.
yeah.
Um, ooh, look at that. Wall of fire.
Those are also just nice.
Yeah, let's do this. Can I get this
I feel like a
behind?
wall of fire over Old Lava River is a little
Nope.
redundant.
Hat on a hat.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have it any other way. It's nice and translucent. Woo.
Man.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Stuff is looking good. All
I'm
right.
honestly glad that we did do that Kickstarter just to focus on just Hellscape because like doing something like Hellscape, doing something like this to its fullest is just it looks amazing. I love this.
I'm excited. All right, so little jumpy stone. Missed that guy. Here. Boop. There you go. There's your playable space. One little. Jumpy Stone is one of those names that was like a working title that just we couldn't top, and just became ingrained in our heart, like Stump Lump.
Stump lump.
Yeah,
That's so good.
it's like because it's a lump that has a stump that you attach a tree to. Like, what else do you want? It's a stump lump. Oh wait, I got one last thing. I got a couple phantasmal filters. Let's see what these. Ooh, 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 ooh. Of course, I don't have the light panel, but
You can still put the light behind it or something to
yeah.
get a sense. Everybody in the chat seems to be very into it. Knight of Phoenix says, "Tell me the Wall of Fire will be available to buy by itself."
Hopefully. So here's a hot tip for you guys. Our wow, I don't know if you can see. You know what I'm gonna do? Hang on, let me turn this off. Ooh, your
My
cat
cat-
is
my cat wants
in
to-
a. Can you see?
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, you can sort of see the. You can definitely see the
Yeah, you can see
transition.
the effect.
Yeah.
Not quite the same thing as having the panels, but
No. It was interesting. It looks good with the front light too. Ooh, it pops the yellows. So basically, the only way to ensure that you get anything is to get in on the Kickstarter. After that, it's always you're rolling the dice a little bit on whether or not we'll have it in stock. We, everything that we have that's extra. Man, I need to figure out how to turn that off. Oh, you know what? Maybe I still have.
I guess you can't just turn the volume off, or it would.
No, we won't hear you. Oh, I have everything open. That's why. Rookie mistake. There we go. All right, we'll go back to you. So we obviously we try and get as much in stock as we can. But what usually happens is that stuff it sells out pretty quick when it hits the web store, and then it's sort of waiting for the next restock, and then it's that restock game. But we do have the function where you can sign up. If you like a thing, oh, it's your cat. If you like a thing, you can say notify me on launch. Oh, this one's too hot to read on, and we'll or notify me when this is back in stock, and then.
Is that the?
It's the River Styx.
River Styx.
It doesn't read so well on.
Well, you can.
I think it's everything. Magma. Did I do the curve?
Look up the Hellscape video, and you'll.
Yeah, right.
You'll get the full effect of it. We gotta remember to do light panels next time, but.
Yeah. All right. So put these away. So anyway, the moral of the story is the Kickstarter is the best time to guarantee you'll have stuff. Hopefully we'll have some Wall of Fires available. And it certainly seems like one that would do well in the web store, and hopefully we can restock it. I'll tell you, like with Caverns Deep, we're discovering it's really hard. Like a bunch of that stuff we're not gonna be able to restock.
Yeah.
So get it while the getting's good.
Maybe we could do some kind of spell effect bundle or something if.
Wall of Ice, Wall of Fire.
Wall of Ice, Wall of Fire, if that's the only way to do it.
Yeah, well,
we'll see.
it's casting, it's minimum order quantities and whatnot. The Wall of Fire seems like it should be doable because it's 6 in the thing. So we'd have to make 500 sets, which is a lot. We often are ordering quantity. We try and order sets like quantity of 200.
That's fair. I see somebody asking if we're going to be doing a giveaway today, and we will be.
Yes.
During one at about the halfway point of the stream.
We're gonna be giving away a starter dungeon. Woo!
Yeah. Let's see, what else do we have here?
I think that's it. Let's go. Should we talk about Wildlands?
Yeah, we can talk about Wildlands.
All right. So
it's 7:30 yet. Let's get into it.
I know we are cruising. I'm all fired up because this is like let's start with the big let's not bury the lead here. So we are officially announcing the launch date, right? Oh, I have a little graphic too. Not animated, but so we're going to launch Hellscape in 6 weeks from this Monday. So August 9th. August 9th.
You said Hellscape.
What? Okay, right. Take 2.
We're doing Hellscape again.
We're going back into Wildlands was just a ruse. So we're going to launch our 8th Kickstarter, Wildlands, on August 9th, which is a Sunday. I think we will launch it at noon, which is sort of our tradition. And it will run until September 2nd at some point in the evening. And then you won't hear from us for about 5 days. And then we'll get hard at work on fulfilling it. So it's August 9th. It's going to run for 20-something, 26 days or whatever until September 2nd. So you heard it here first. Now we can release it on social media. And I'm so fired up to launch this one because this one's been in the development longer than any of them for a variety of reasons. We were supposed to launch this last October. And yeah, it's just been everything. A lot of them, a lot of unforeseen things such as pandemics that rolled in and pushed back. But we're finally almost there. And I've been in the really.
I think in a lot of ways that extra time though. Has, at least having seen the pieces, has resulted in some really good stuff.
It's ridiculous. The team is on fire. Like this is the best. It's the best stuff that we've kicked out ever. Like it's just everybody is just killing it. And it's we're gonna launch with a relatively small for us number of pieces, roughly 150 pieces, which is about 80 pieces less than Caverns Deep or something. But they're big. Like the average size of a piece is probably double the size of that in Caverns Deep. So like just the amount of millimeters of coverage, like the team has done, it's amazing. We've got some really 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 cool stuff, and we're still cooking. Like we got some really cool big stuff still brewing, little stuff, big stuff, all it's lively. So I have what we're gonna tell you guys before we sort of do some breakdowns. Um,
I
yeah,
guess the first thing is if all of you watching, if you've, yeah, I assume a lot of you have been like anticipating Wildlands up to this point. If you had concerns, if there's anything you're worried about, especially given the state of the world as well, any of those concerns, we want to try and address as many of those as possible. So if you can just like write those down, have them on hand so you don't forget them, and then after we give you all the info, we'd like to see how many of those we're handling,
yeah. Well,
basically.
basically, so what we're gonna do is we'll talk about this for the next, I don't know, 45 minutes or 30 minutes or however. I don't know. It turns out I talk a lot. We'll talk about this for a little bit, and then we want to hear, the things that you're worried about going into Wildlands, because obviously you won't know all the things. And so we want to make sure we either have a good answer for. I mean, we won't have it now necessarily, but we want to make sure we kind of have a good answer for your worries, or already have a thing that, like, has solved it, or hopefully you can bring up something that we hadn't thought of, so we have time to patch it up before we go. Um, so we are. So where do we start? So I was going to talk about the pledges. We talked a little bit about. Was that 2 weeks ago? 1 week ago? When?
2 weeks ago.
What
Two
is
weeks ago was the
time?
last stream.
Yeah. So I get this guy. So right now I'm in the super fun. I've just been building for like the last week and change, building, putting photos up on Slack. The team doing these fun and terrible guessing games. Actually, more than that, because I was building before last stream too. I don't know. It's this is the best part, where you finally putting the pieces together, try and make it into a thing. Everybody on the team trying to guess how much things cost, and it's always costs more than you think. And then slash trying to find the best. What are the exciting offers for various levels and whatever. It's just this is like they're building this stuff, and it's the first time you really see it as like a thing. Can't wait. It's gonna be so exciting to show you guys this stuff in 5.5 weeks. We show you tons and tons of stuff. Yeah. So here's what we got. It's formal because it's on a piece of paper.
We're real business now.
I think it's the first time I've had a piece of paper on this show. Like I usually
You're growing up.
I have dry erase. This is my favorite thing ever. But
You're all grown up.
let's not get crazy. So all right. First, we have what's kind of exciting is we're doing a collaboration with Die Hard Dice, and they're just the coolest. They are unbelievable artists. They're amazing people. Just like you couldn't ask for better people to work with, and churning out some really, really, really something the world's never seen before. Right? We've said it a couple times. Two different types of things that are all dice. A new way to crack dice, and they both the ideas that they came up with that are just amazing and tie really well into what we're doing with the Wildlands. And we've been working, like, it's so cool collaborating with you guys. Anyway, the long and short of it is we're going to have a pledge that's a just the dice pledge. And what's cool about it is, so we'll have the build your own Wildlands pledge, which which is the same as sort of every year. It's $10. You get a tote bag, and you can buy whatever add-ons you want. So we're also going to have the Just the Dice pledge, which is going to be just the dice. It's going to be. We're going to change the name, I think, because you can get more dice. Maybe the dice are nice.
Dice are nice.
Hey, anybody in the chat have any ideas? We're open to ideas. We'll give you a hearty virtual high five if you have a good one. So we'll have
dice breaker.
The dice breaker.
I don't know.
Was that you, or was that chat?
Yeah, I'll blame that one on the chat.
I'm writing it down.
I'll say
dice breaker.
Oh yeah, then it was me. We're seeing dice baby. Two people in a row immediately dice baby. Dice not mice. Roll the dice. Give me the dice.
We can't do
fire and dice. The dice goblin pledge.
We can't do dice goblin's not bad. We can't do roll the dice because Wormwood does roll the dice as part of their pledge, and it's like dice goblin is pretty cool. Fire and dice is fun too. Is there a Wildlands?
Dice spitting, dice shy.
Is there a Wildlands themed dice like?
It'd be really easy if this was like an ice-based locale.
Yeah, it would.
But
anyway,
yeah.
No dice there.
Vanilla dice.
So cool as dice. Uh, so anyway, so what's gonna be neat is you can use the dice breaker, the dice goblin pledge, whatever the dice pledge is. You can use that as your entry point instead of the build your own wildlands if you want, so that instead of getting a tote bag, you get some cool special dice thing, dice die, something, a very the you know. So it gives you it gives you an option to get in with something more interesting and whatever. So I'm kind of excited about that. And you can choose your flavor. It'll be the same cost. We're not sure what it is. It's either $15 or $20. And maybe I don't know. We're sort of, but it's the idea is two different kind of ways to buy in to just sort of a la carte whatever you want, which would be neat. And it'll let people that just want to get dice get in and get dice, and get out. But once they're in there, they see all this other stuff. They'll be excited. Maybe there will be people. We should take bets. How many people are just gonna get dice?
How many people will get just dice that are kicked? That's interesting.
Let's do an office. Remind me tomorrow.
Do an office pool.
Yeah. Well, before we launch, we're gonna do an office pool. We're gonna guess. So we'll guess. Our final total, final number of backers. We'll guess a number of people that just get the dice. Like let's. It'll be fun. These are fun games.
What's the reward gonna be? Dice?
Yeah, sure. Just why not? Yeah.
Are we gonna do Price is Right rules where somebody's gonna have to obligatorily pick one just in case, or?
Yeah, if you guess over, you lose.
Okay, cool. So Price is Right rules.
Yeah.
Got it. Dice is right.
The dice is right.
The dice is right.
Dice Goblin's my favorite so far. But I'd look for a Wildlands themed one, like Savage Wilderness, like, something. All right, so then we have, and I think we talked about it in the last one. We have, so I'll repeat some of this stuff, but it's coalesced a little bit more. We'll have the starter scatter pledge. So this is it's going to be $75, and it's going to get you a starter pack of scatter terrain. We gotta sound something cooler than starter pack. That's another one. We need a interesting name for this one.
Scatter pack.
Right. We need a cool name.
we need a good name.
And it's it'll be similar to the Hellraiser pack from Hellscape. It's just a bunch of cool scatter stuff that you could put on your existing battle mat or on your desk or with your other terrain or whatever. And it'll have a few stretch goals, not an enormous amount, but it'll have a few. And it'll be, what's kind of fun is it's $75, and then you choose your flavor in the pledge manager. So we will have 3 flavors. We have this is official confirmed beans. So we'll have forest, we have swamp, and we have mountains. So you have 3 different flavors you can choose from. So you pledge your $75, choose one of those in the pledge manager, get out. And of course, you can also buy it as an add-on pack if you want, as well.
Saw one. So people are putting like suggestions for the name in there. I really like Trail Mix as the name for the scatter pack.
That's funny.
I think that's good.
But it needs to cover swamp, forest, and mountain. But that's clever. It's my favorite.
You can go hiking through.
You have to compile all these. Yeah, it's true. You can trail through this one.
I wouldn't recommend it, but.
So then we have right now called the Wargame Scatter Pledge, which is very much the same thing. $250, big bucket of scatter. You choose your flavor in the pledge manager. 3 different flavors, same thing: forest, swamp, mountain. And the idea here is these sets are designed for. It's a lot of high silhouette scatter to break line of sight. It's no kind of like roofy RPG stuff, right? There's not really LED things or low-lying things or decorative things. It's all mostly just stuff to break up your battlefield. A lot of chunky pieces, things that are friendly for getting 4 or more models on. And the idea is that one pack really fills a 2x2, 2 foot by 2 foot, like skirmish board, kind of fills a 3x3 board, and then 2 packs fills a 4x4 board. And you can mix and match. So you could get like a forest and a swamp to make a cool 4x4 board. Or you get 3 packs, and then you can really fill it or mix it, do some sort of mixing and matching and whatever. And obviously, it's not just for wargamers. Anybody can get. It'll be a good bunch of scatter. But it's all favoring stuff that would be specifically useful for wargaming. And Hamster, our resident lifelong wargamer, is like super excited because he's been dreaming of this. He's like, why so long? So then we have and those packs will have a couple of stretch goals also. Not a ton, but there'll be some stuff like depending on how we go. So we're gonna gate some sculpts behind, sort of success base. We need to get over like 2 million, and we'll go beyond our 150 sculpt count and roll out some other stuff, and then we can pepper some things into some of these packs. Because it's fun to participate in stretch goals. We'll talk about it when we get to stretch goals. So then we have. I don't know if this is going to work yet or not, and also these kind of need a name. But there's a running theme here. What do you think this theme is?
Not having names?
Yeah. I was waiting for you to say something funny and snarky.
Yeah. Why would it be named? These aren't the domesticated lands.
There you go.
Got it.
The undomesticated pledges, untamed pledges. So this next one is right now. Each zone has a different price point. Ideally, I could get them all to the same price point, so you could do the same thing. One pledge, choose your flavor in the pledge manager. Because one of the things that we suffer is all of our pledges are doubled, except for the Dice Baby and Build Your Own Wildlands, because we have a painted and unpainted. So if you have 4 pledge levels, that's suddenly 8 pledge levels. So we have this kind of pledge level bloat that gets hard to navigate through. So we're trying to collapse as much as we can. So the idea is this is a 2 foot by 2 foot build that is based on a terrain tray type base. So it's not sculpted floors, so we can keep the price down ish. And it'll be somewhere between $600 and $800. I think I can get forest. I know I can get forest and swamp down to 600. I'm not sure about mountains yet. Like the mountain pieces. I should have brought. I did have one. The mountain pieces are all just so big and beefy that it's expensive. But we'll see. I'm trying to get. Ideally, we could get all of them to $600 price point, and then it would be one pledge. You choose your flavor in the pledge manager. And these are again basically scatter based, but they have a built-in base, right? There'll be a 2 foot by 2 foot base of terrain trays or something else, and those will come with some sort of special dice thing, and they. I haven't sorted it all out yet, but I think that as an add-on, you'll be able to get that whole bundle as an add-on. So if you don't want, you're like, I hate terrain trays, or I have a giant 4x8 battlefield table already, or whatever, you can just get the scatter without the floor. It won't be a pledge level, but you could just go in at the fire and dice level and get it, or the build your own wildlands level and get just that if you wanted, and then put on whatever. Because I think Chris, you said on the Discord or on the forums, people were worried about they didn't want to be forced to buy a bunch of terrain trays or something, right? Wasn't that?
Yeah. It was some of it wondering if they wanted to just get scatter without terrain trays, they don't want to have to get terrain trays. Yeah. Basically, if they're not interested.
Yeah. So scatter without terrain trays, without the terrain trays. Hold the terrain trays. So, and of course, and that's the other thing. So there will be nothing in the Kickstarter. I don't think, not yet. I haven't finished all the conversations, but conceptually, nothing in the Kickstarter is going to be gated, right? So we're not going to have the only way you can get, similar in Dungeon and Doom, we had a lot of pieces we had the Abyssal Vermilion was gated in a $1,100 pack or something. So we're going to have all the stuff will be available in one or more add-on packs So you can go in and cherry pick the stuff that you want, without being forced to get too many things you don't want. Like, we're not selling things, individual pieces a la carte, but we'll have a good selection. Everything should be available in some add-on pack or another. Hopefully, an add-on pack that's $100 or less. So it's like you can kind of focus in on what you want to get. Conceptually, all of these packs, I'm still trying to break them out, but conceptually, all of these packs will be sort of broken into some smaller component packs, which will repeat in a bunch of places. So you should be able to get all this stuff, no problem. So hopefully we can get all those to the $600 price point, and you can it's one pledge, choose your flavor, and get out of there. And all of those come with a stretch goal bucket, right? Or cauldron. What do we call it? What's like a?
Do we want it to be Wildlands themed?
Yeah, go figure. A basket. What do you?
Like a knapsack, a backpack,
a
well, what do you take when you go outside?
A hollowed out wyvern skull.
A hollowed out canoe that you put over your head and walk through the water.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's a collection. We'll call it a cauldron for now. So each one has a stretch goal cauldron. So the swamp one will have the swamp, stretch goal cauldron, forest, mountain. And as we go, the cauldron will fill up. At the end of the Kickstarter, once we go into the pledge manager, you'll then also be able to buy. So you get all those stretch goals with your pledge, and then in the pledge manager, you'll be able to buy those packs on their own. Also, if you want to just grab the stretch goal packs, you can buy them. If you just go in to build your own Wildlands, you could go in and just buy a stretch goal pack if you wanted to. And the idea, once again, with the stretch goals is we're trying to add variety and value and modularity. So it's, we're not adding pieces that feel necessary to a thing so much as adding pieces that give you more options on the table. So hopefully that will work out. We're still, I don't have all the boxes aren't filled in yet exactly, but I think it's, and some of it will be, especially once we're, depending, well, we'll see how it all goes, but assuming we break 2 million, then a bunch of these will be new sculpts that weren't in there before that we can then throw into these pledges, which would be cool. So then we're going to have a bundle, which, guess what?
What?
It needs a name. Go figure. I wanted to call it the Wildlands Pledge, but we'll talk about in a second why it might be redundant. But so then we're gonna have a Wildlands Pledge or whatever, big bundle pledge that you get all three of these environments. Bump, the swamp, the forest, the mountain, all three zones, all the stretch goal buckets, plus one extra bucket of each. So you get a total of 2 swamp stretch goal cauldrons, 2 forest stretch goal cauldrons, and 2 mountain stretch goal cauldrons, all in one big bundle. Instead of, we're down price, but if they each were $600, it would be like $17.50 or something. So you get a discount. Oh, these are all painted prices, by the way. I don't know what the unpainted are just yet. It'll probably be 2/3 of these or something. So anyway, for whatever, for $17.50 you get all three of those zones and double stretch goals, which would be kind of neat. Then we go up to the 3 big or 4 big pledges. So we'll have one big build for swamp, one big build for forest, and one big build for mountains. These are going to be ranging in price probably between $1,500 and $2,500. I don't know. I haven't built out and priced the mountain yet. I did a first pass on the forest. Don't have a price on it yet, and I did a couple passes on the swamp and have that one comes in around $1,500 or a little less. But I think they're each going to be more expensive than that for a variety of reasons. And these will feature fully sculpted floors, fully sculpted everything. We'll have all the bells and whistles and shenanigans. And each of these will have 3 stretch goal packs. So you get, we're kind of similar to our Kickstarter 1 and 2 model. So you're just going to get the same. You get the same swamp canoe of stretch goals, but tripled. Same knapsack of stretch goals from the forest, but tripled, and same with mountains and tripled. So each of the zones get triple stretch goals, and they're big, cool, complete. Like it's just going to give you a ton of table coverage, ton of options, and the goal is we're going to try and launch with at least 2 configurations of everything shown. So it's like, hey, you could build this or build this, and then as we get more stuff in, we'll do some more builds and whatever, and we'll sort it all out. Each of them is going to feature a centerpiece, a showpiece thing, which we're not going to reveal at launch. Guess why?
Because we don't have a name for it.
I actually have names for it. It's because they're not done.
You can't. This is conditioning done all wrong.
No, we're still working on them. So it's kind of the last stuff. I don't know if you guys have met us, but we like to go right down to the wire. So those will have things which will get revealed sort of at the end of each week. We'll reveal another central thing, and they're going to be really awesome. And yeah, we're not having a ton of hidden stuff on this Kickstarter. I mean, there's gonna be neat stuff to reveal, and then if we go really far, we'll have a bunch of new sculpts to show and whatever. But we're gonna have. It's not like we don't have a ton of super dramatic reveals. But anyway, so each of those will have a big central thing, and then we have the big. The massive pledge, the Wildlands Untamed. That was my theory. This is the Wildlands Untamed. The smaller one is the Wildlands, but maybe it's too confusing to have 2 things that have Wildlands in them. But the idea was that it was all 3 zones together, so it's like the Wildlands. I don't know. Tell us if it makes sense or it's confusing. So the Wildlands Untamed will be if it's right. If swamp is 1,500, forest is $2,000, and mountains are 2,500, then the whole bundle, instead of being $6,000, it'll be like 5,800. This is painted once again, and it's going to come with once again an extra pack of stretch goals in each zone. So you'll get a total of 4 swamp stretch goal packs, 4 stretch goal packs, 4 mountain stretch goal packs, and those also all come with some sort of dice thing, and there's gonna be super bonus dice thing. And another bonus thing, there'll be some bonus things, similar to how in Hellscape we had a couple of cool bonus packs and stuff in the All Hell Breaks Loose pledge. So you'll get all the kind of cool big bits in there. One challenge is it's not going to have. There might be some sculpts. If we go really far, there might be some sculpts that we unlock that are not in the pledge. But what we'll do is probably at the very end we'll gather up the loose ends. We'll have a completionist pledge that will be anything that we've added that's not in the big Uber Wildlands Untamed pledge. So you can add on if you want to get every single sculpt and call it a day. So I think that's all that's where we right now. That's kind of the map out, and we'll see. Obviously, the prices are still all in flux, and a bunch of the compositions are still in flux. But that's the current sketch. And right now, there's like build room is, I don't know. There's a 6x4 table that's full, a 6x3 table that's full, a 6x3 table that's full, 4x8 table that's sort of a workspace, and then like a 17-foot long table that I'm trying to fill. I'm trying to fill up as much space as possible.
It's just a mess of sample builds with index cards saying like, this is why I made this one, this is why I made this one. Like it's
bonkers.
Aren't you glad you have that much space now though?
Oh, it's the best. It's the best.
Like that office upgrade.
Yeah, it's full. Like I'm already running out of space. So are there any questions before we go talk about stretch goals and live streams and whatever? Are there any questions about the pledges so far?
There's been there's been a fair amount. Let's see. Yeah, if you have, so you just want questions specific to the
pledges, yeah.
Right now?
Yeah, and we'll do questions at the end for, big general other.
One of the things I saw was somebody asking if there was going to be like a lot of floor terrain piece options for each zone, just to cover that specifically.
Um, there's not a lot of floor options for the swamp because swamp is very negative space built negative space focused, right? It's like the core premise is that you're using banks and lots of negative space, but there's a ton of banks, and those can be used to build your floors, and there's some floor stuff, but there's not like there will be options of what you put in the negative space, plus your imagination is the limit with negative space, right? You can print stuff out, you can get a sheet, you can put any, you could have cool battle mats that already exist or dry erase or whatever, you can put anything down there. We have a bunch of cool floor options for forest, and those will be in packs that if you can get, particularly if you already have Dread Hollow Forest and you want to say like, just some clear tiles and whatever, we'll have some stuff so it's easy to get that stuff. And we have some floor options, including we've got some compatibility packs that'll help you. People who are like, it's impossible to build with Dread Hollow Forest because it's 6-inch base, and whatever. We have like, was that a good imitation of, I don't know?
Yeah, that sounds, yeah.
Of the forums. That's a.
It didn't. Yeah, it didn't even. I didn't even see you there for a second.
Nailed it.
I was transported entirely.
So we have, and then we'll have mountains. We don't have a ton of floor options, because mostly we want the floors to just be pretty flat. I mean, they're sculpted in texture, but we want them to be pretty flat because mountains are all about going vertical, and changing elevation heights, whatever. So you want stuff that's flat so that then we have a whole bunch of different things that kind of will change your elevation and you can do stuff with. So there's not a ton of options, but there's stuff. There's sculpted floor for everything. Even swamp, we have at least one floor piece beyond all the banks. But
each zone basically has a different kind of philosophy when it comes to like the way that you build it.
Yep.
We had a couple questions about the $600 pledge. They're wondering again what kind of coverage they would get with it. And the kind of variety that they would get in terms of like the builds that they can make with the $600 pledge.
So there will all be a core, a 2-foot by 2-foot build, which felt like, messing around, it 2x2 felt like the minimum space for a decent outdoor encounter with enough gameable space. So like Dread Hollow Forest was 1.5 by 2 feet, but there wasn't enough playable space in there, right? Like we jam packed like everything. It originally started twice that size or 2.5 times that size, and was like it was too expensive. So I just kept cutting it down smaller and smaller and smaller, and it got so compressed that it was so tight there wasn't any room. So there's enough room in here to get a bunch of minis or move stuff around and be tactical. And because it's essentially all scatter based, there's endless, like you can do endless arrangements with all this stuff. So it'll be more scatter than in the Wargame scatter pack, and with a bunch of RPG elements, meaning cool, flashy, decorative bits and LEDs and fun whatnots, and some cool MacGuffins and focal points and traps and whatnot. So all the cool bits. But you'll be able to build, and we'll launch with at least two examples of what you could do. And then as we go, we'll show more, and we'll talk about that too in live streams, like what we're gonna show during the campaign. But there's gonna be time, and then if you get a couple, like if you get the forest and the swamp, those play super nice together, and you can use them to build a really big thing, and have ponds and rivers and whatever. There's all sorts of cool stuff you can do there. Same, forest and mountains play really nice together. Mountains and swamp play. They're a little harder, but you can make them all work together. It's gonna be good.
Blackout Sun is wondering what the ratio of bread and butter pieces to fiddly bits tends to be.
That's a good question.
Obviously, like scatter sets are more focused on fiddly bits.
Yeah,
But when it comes to like the 2x2 or like the all in for that for each biome.
That's a really good question. It's such a weird, like, doing wilderness is not like dungeons or even caverns where like it's a weird, basically essentially everything in the 2x2 pledges, well, let's see, in the forest and mountain 2x2 pledges, 90% of it is like fiddly stuff. It's all scatter, like interesting, easy to move scatter stuff that goes on the bases. But some, it's kind of, the scatter is kind of the bread and butter because it's trees and it's mounds and it's things that that are just the core elements that you're always going to use. But they're not like, it's not bread and butter in that it's not like a 6x6 floor tile. But they're the pieces that you're going to use all the time. And then there's probably no more than 20%, probably closer to 10% is the kind of the flashy, the more specific MacGuffin-y stuff, narrative drivers and things that you can use as hooks and objectives and whatnot. So, somewhere between 10 and 20% probably for that, if that answers it. And then for the big ones, it's enough bread and butter to cover the floor, which is, I don't know what the footprints are going to be for the forest and the mountain yet. The swamp, right now the footprint on the swamp is 3 feet by 3 feet, which is really enormous. It's 3 times the size of Dread Hollow. And it's not 3 times the price of Dread Hollow, which is awesome. And then the forest is going to be smaller, and I think the mountain might have the smallest footprint because it's probably going to go up the highest. So we'll see how that all pans out. But I think it'll be a good mix of 75% or something of the pieces are like just fundamental pieces to build. Anytime you're going to do mountains, you're going to be using those pieces. And then 25% are the cool, flashy, specific things. But there's a lot of them will have multiple uses. So you could use it for this, or you could use it for this, or whatever. Modularity and beauty all in one. It'd be good. What else?
Knighthood is wondering how the Dread Hollow pieces will compare to the forest. Basically, like, yeah,
compatible, 100% compatible. So this is essentially a Dread Hollow forest expansion, and it's So when we were designing Dread Hollow Forest, like, I don't know, it feels like 47 years ago, we had there were more ideas than we could fit into what we had in the Kickstarter. So we actually even started sculpting some of these pieces. We sculpted 3 years ago at this point. Was it really? I don't know. So whenever we were doing Caverns Deep, or preparing Caverns Deep, a couple of those pieces are sculpted there, and so we have. So it was sort of all developed kind of in tandem, and then it's evolved, and we've learned from having done Dread Hollow. We learned some lessons there and whatever. But basically, it's just Dread Hollow Part 2, but it's self-contained. Like you can use it if you don't have any of the existing Dread Hollow Forest stuff. But it's a lot of it's designed to fill in the gaps, fill in the things that weren't working or that you needed in Dread Hollow Forest. So if you've got the Dread Hollow Forest, you can be super excited because both the forest and the mountains are just going to make that stuff so much cooler. We like it, as
we have a lot of people calling for us to show stuff. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah. As a general philosophy, we want it. We try to reward. If you've bought in on stuff, we try and keep supporting it and adding more. With the glaring exception of the water tiles. Which we won't discuss right now because basically they're just they've been the banks have replaced water tiles, unfortunately for the water tile people, and I understand that it's nice to be able to just slam together a bunch of squares and make a thing, but with the exception of that, we try and keep supporting all the things that we've made before so that you can just keep growing and growing. If there's we'll finish pledge questions, then we'll look at we'll do the giveaway, we'll do the fan build, and then we'll look at I have a couple of pieces to show, and then we'll talk about the rest of the thing. Are there any more pledge questions?
Got a couple things in here. People are wondering what's the surface area of some of the largest pieces are.
The surface area? I don't know.
I don't know about the surface area, but there's some pretty big pieces.
There's some. I mean, we have 6x6 footprints on a bunch of things. We have it's big across the boards. Is the biggest It's the physically largest. It's the collection of pieces that are the physically largest of anything we've done. There's a lot of big stuff and a lot of tall stuff, right? We're doing tall trees and whatnots, and yeah, it's a good question.
And then we've got some people wondering if there's going to be miniatures at all.
Very few. There'll be a smattering. So we have the sort of worst case scenario of the factory sprung sort of last minute skew throttling on us, right? They wanted to really want us to be judicious with our SKUs, like only have a certain number of things in here. And yeah, we did a survey. When was that? I guess it was after Hellscape or something about this, and miniatures didn't survey well in with our stuff. Is the person asking, are they pro DF miniatures or anti DF miniatures?
I'm assuming that they're pro miniatures.
Ask. It could be
to bring it up. I feel like that's why you would ask.
Yeah. So we had some stuff slated that I put on hold, and we wanted to release the adventurer minis, like the team minis as adventurers and whatever. But it's like it just eats up a whole bunch of our piece numbers, and most people are here for the terrain, so we're gonna mostly focus on the terrain. So there'll be you'll be able to count on one hand the number of miniatures, but we'll make them count.
The chat is full of people who are pro minis saying that we make some of the best minis. So
woo, man, we should make a minis Kickstarter, huh? I know. We're working on it. We'll see what we can do. There were a bunch of bits, but you'll be excited by the ones that are in here. I'll tell you that. Any others, or should we do the middle stuff and then show off some pieces?
Let's go ahead and do the middle stuff.
Okay.
I think.
So we have to do a giveaway. We're gonna give away a starter dungeon to everybody you have to be in the U.S. or Canada, or just the U.S.
I believe it's just U.S.
See, that's why you're a lawyer.
It might be North America.
Oh.
But I'm pretty sure it's just U.S. only.
Okay, so we're giving away a starter dungeon if you live in the United States or have a mailing address in the United States. If we can ship it somewhere in the United States, you're eligible. And all you have to do is, and it's gonna be painted starter dungeon. Ship it right to your house. You just have to type into the chat a secret word. What's our secret word, Chris?
Oh. It should probably be Wildlands related, right?
Yeah.
People are saying swamp. Somebody's saying disco ninjas.
All right, sold. Disco ninjas. That's
disco
one.
Ninjas, all one word.
One word. DISCONINJAS, plural. Disco ninjas.
All right, disco ninjas, all one word.
Disco
Excellent.
ninjas. So type in disco ninjas if you want a chance to win the starter dungeon. All right, so now we're gonna do fan build, which was brought to us by Harvey. Ready? So this guy, he painted up his spirit tree from the Dread Hollow Forest from Caverns Deep.
Oh wow!
Yeah, right. It's ridiculous.
I love the detail on the mushrooms.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We should have shown also David Moffat's. He did this. David Moffat on Twitter did this amazing build that had an inverted terrain tray. It was epic. He worked on it for like 2 weeks. Maybe we'll do it on the next build because it's awesome. But so this what we were excited about was this guy. He painted, hand painted this thing. Let's do this couple of things. I love the sort of the gray, really old wood. All the super bright colors popping on the gray wood. And I wonder how long that took him. Is Harvey watch here? This is from our Facebook group.
I'm not seeing him in chat. If you're here in chat, let us know, Harvey.
All those colors.
But I'm not seeing him so far. It is gorgeous. With how long it takes me to do like a mini, this looks like at least a full day, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of time. So it's just fun to see what you can.
All the highlights, like getting each little groove in between every like vein of wood.
Yeah, I love it.
All the details they pulled out of the underbrush.
Remind me, I want to for the next on the anvil. I want to show that David Moffat build because it's like
Yeah, absolutely.
bonkers. It's like a total Toby stunt, like this upside down terrain tray as the core of the thing. All right, so thank you for. So if you want your build featured, join our official Facebook group. Which how do we? You tell people to get there. I don't know how do you get there? It's the official.
Let me see if there's a command for it. If there's not, there should be one.
Yeah.
It's the official Dwarven Forge fan page.
Yeah.
And
we picked one.
There is one that's not official, but you go to the official one.
That's us.
It's not in here. I should get the URL and put it in there. Add that as a command.
We so if you once again if you want to join the giveaway, type in Disco Ninjas DISCONINJAS into chat if you're in the a mailing address in the United States. We're gonna look at some pieces, and then when we're done looking at these pieces, we'll do the giveaway. All right, so
excellent.
We got to go to the close. Let's do the triple whammy. All right. Oh man, that overhead camera.
I only know what one of the pieces is, so I'm actually kind of excited to see what you've pulled.
So, let's start with. Well, let's just go with the big. We'll go with the big boy, right? Let's go big or go home. So, this. Where is the? How am I doing? Let's see if I can focus this. Hold on, 2 shakes. All right. So this is the piece that the very first episode of On the Anvil, which it wasn't even called On the Anvil at that point. It was just sculpting with Eli.
Sculpting with Eli, yeah.
Yeah. We sculpted this on camera in that first segment, and so I wanted to show you. This is the finished final piece. This is Paint Master. You see there, Skew and Paint Master PM2. We've got two: a Paint Master 1 and Paint Master 2. One for us, one for the factory. Super excited with the Wyverstone on there. Look at that cool. And we have this is a little. This is a stump, so you can put. Let's see, what do we have? Oh man, I cannot wait to release this Kickstarter. It's gonna be so like. I'm in the excited stage. I normally am just terrified all the way up into launch, but right now I'm like just pumped. Having been building for the last batch of time, it's been really. It's gonna be good. Yeah, let's get. Wow, I need to get this thing
further. That piece by itself is just gorgeous.
It's a really. Let's check this guy out. So, we have the. This is the little. Was it the Luna Moss? The
little. A fan suggested that, and Eli sculpted it in there, and then also gave us like a 5-minute lecture on Luna Moths.
Yeah.
Because he knows everything.
Man, I don't have. I was gonna show we made the top friendly for a. If you've got a 32 millimeter base, or figure. So this is like a 25 millimeter base, and then there's plenty of room up here to put like a big fig. Like it's friendly for you could get 3 models on here for your wargaming. And then we will have. It's not in there yet. Come on, modular tree. We have. There will be a couple of holes right here, so you can attach your suspension bridge. Do I have?
Oh no!
I should have prepped that. Oh no! What?
Gary.
Gygax didn't make it. Oh man.
Gygax didn't make it.
My bucket is
what an anticlimactic way to go.
Just falling off, unceremoniously falling off a.
Yeah. You're like at the level 19, 20 stage of your campaign. You're climbing up the mountains to fight the big bad, like this huge dragon you spend ages building up, and you just fall off the mountain.
That would be. You would never play with a DM again.
Yeah, he just lets that happen.
It's like just getting swooped away by a pterodactyl. So this will be able to. You'll be able to take a suspension bridge there, or on this side or any of our other. In fact, what I have here, this is hot off the. Like I splashed some black on there so you could sort of see the thing. This is the first. This is a test cast that Toby did. Nina just finished this yesterday. It's not painted, obviously. And this was the first. Toby didn't even want me to take this because like it was a bad pour. But I'm like, no, it's the first. So the first one out of the thing, so I can show you. So this is gonna be. This is we'll have pegs and we'll be able to. It's gonna settle like really nicely up there.
Nice little natural bridge.
Yeah, it's gonna be. There's gonna be all sorts of fun shenanigans you can do with this. And this guy's got a little. Oh, there's a cool little lizard under there. I mean, you can't see because it's not painted, but it'll. It's gonna be awesome, and also just sits really. Whoops, I can't even see. It sits nicely, like you can just sit it on the ground or put some scatter up against it or whatever you use it.
It also like just doesn't look sturdy. Like you could absolutely justify that the center of that's gonna fall out or something.
Well, precarious and cantilevered were two of our guiding principles for the mountains. So that
what was that second one?
Cantilevered, right? So
That's
yeah.
What is that?
When it's suspended out without with support underneath. Like so this is like cantilevered out. You could do if this was like hanging out like that, it would be cantilevered out. So it's basically things that feel like they could fall and collapse, precariously placed. You want that element of danger, and so yeah, I think Nina got the element of danger in this in a big way, right? It definitely looks like it could fall apart. Cold was one of the other like windswept, I think was it for the mountains.
Yeah, they do look weathered, which is really nice.
Yeah. Windswept. So then the other thing you can do with this guy, there's so many. I wish it plays with a couple of other pieces very specifically, which I don't have, I can't show, but it does have. So we've got this. I think I showed the mock for this thing. This is a little, what do we call it? Rocky outcropping. So this thing is going to have the same. It'll have the two little pegs on here, same as the bridge, so that you can then. I mean, you can just use gravity to do it, but you can use it to kind of square off. So we have a bunch of flat edges on some of our mountain stuff, so you can butt them up against each other, whatever. So this can round off your flat edges, and it will stick on. So you could cantilever it out if you. It'll have the pegs, so you could build this on like a mountainside and here and have that suspend off and be like a really precarious place. You could also pop it up there. It'll sit really nicely up there to give you some more playable space. And also, if you wanted, you could just like, I can't even get it up on the camera. You could just pop that thing like this sideways. The rock formations look silly that way, but you could use it like that, and it gives nice cover. Don't shoot. Also, Toby put a little bit of Wyverstone under there, so you see it like so when it's hanging down, it looks kind of neat. And also, it kind of could be steps too if you want to use it as like steps going up.
Modularity, baby.
Beautilarity. It's beautiful and modular, all in one. I'm excited.
We've got somebody asking how well this will complement the existing Aranthor mountains.
Oh, so
do you have any of that on hand with you right now, or?
I do. Let's take. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna let me look at the one other thing that plays with this, and then we'll look at the existing. And it just very much the way that the new forest is like an expansion for the existing forest. These new mountain pieces are very much like an expansion for the existing Aranthor mountains. Like we designed them specifically with the working with the pieces that we already had and their limitations. So let's see. And it's fun. I haven't actually played with a final version of this with the Aranthor pieces yet, so I'm kind of excited. I wish we literally don't have a specific expansion that's like specifically to these Aranthor pieces. We have a little expansion for these, not a lot, but a couple of things that are like gonna make that experience better. What do we have? This is gonna be fun. I haven't done this yet. So, all right. So, what do we have? All right. Well, first of all, where's my center frame? Okay. You know, we're going all close. All right, so let me come down a little bit. All right, so this guy. So one of the challenges with like transitioning up with the Aranthors is with the existing Aranthor pieces is kind of a pain. Should I build on a floor? Would it be nice to have a? Hang on, I might be making a hollow promise. Where are the floors? Oh wait, I literally have a drawer with it right here. All right. All right. So, transitioning up is we have that ramps. You can do that, but it's very like kind of obvious and feels kind of man-made, and it's too specific. Whatever. So, this thing, one really nice thing this little guy can do is help transition up. Also, it takes the edge off of like those flat edges if you've got like.
It feels more natural and less like it's been carved out.
Yeah, like if you had, if you had a couple of these guys, you could pop that there to soften that edge up. You can flip it around. Ooh, now that looks both cantilevered and precarious.
I hate this.
You did this.
Who gave you a thesaurus?
My dad taught me the word cantilevered. Really
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I did have to look stuff up in a thesaurus, like a hard, physical, a book made of pages and stuff. No. It was. Sure, we had an encyclopedia set, but it was really old. It was from the '60s or something. It said if you looked up the moon, it said one day man may walk on the moon. All right, so then let's see what else can we do with this. Just this one little guy. I guess you could also, you could do that. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it does break it up. You could do this.
Oh, that's a good line.
What?
Blackout Sun says, I once bought a cheap thesaurus. Not only was it terrible, it was terrible.
Oh, I love that. This little.
That's such a good line.
So good. This guy also. Look how nice he plays there. Flatten up against that thing, like could do two leaves with a little cluster here. Just this one little rock. It's like playing. Yeah, we got rock formations all day long. Now let's see this guy with some of these. So the first obvious thing you could do is this. So like these were designed at the same height so that you could do precisely something like this. Oh, you could do. Where's that tree? Like you could put. If I had a dead. If only we had a dead tree. I wonder if this will even fit. This gnarled. No, this is big. Maybe. That's not very pretty, but you could do like a thing like that. Yeah. So check this out. Better. This side. This is what is it? 38 millimeters high. So it's designed. It's the same height as the rest of your Aranthor pieces. So you can build right up to and onto this thing. What are you giggling about over there?
It's just it's funny catching like getting your commentary and then not being able to see what you're doing until a couple seconds later.
You don't have. Oh, I hear it. Wait.
No, I don't need to see it. It's all right.
Yeah, you can get the reverse angle.
That's fair.
Yeah, I always forget. Like, yeah, I forget there's a delay.
Not actually in the room. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I should get higher. You know what I'm gonna do? Hang on. Let's come over here. Bum, 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 bum.
It's so cool to actually see this piece done. I think this is the first piece I've seen like where I've seen it like starting out and then see the finished.
That might be too close. Let's go right
Loving the purple wyvern stones.
Wyver,
Uh,
no N. Or there's an N in stone, but it's Wyver
oh,
stone.
so wyvern stone, not
Yeah.
wyvern stone.
Yeah, Wyver stone.
Okay.
Or Wyvernium if you want to be like an elven scholar about it. Eli. Um, let's see. So that lines up really nice. You could do a. Where's this little guy?
Mountains are awesome, but the biggest learning curve for building, says Nerd Botchery. I guess I can kind of see that. It's less because it's so
Dead size on
wild
the
and
back.
organic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I can try. I haven't done this yet. Let's try putting this in a. Yeah, I
We
feel
lost
like,
you on the camera.
I
Oh,
feel
you're
like
moving
I
it.
need to do a. I feel like I need to do a hands-on mountains. I feel like I should do a modern building with mountains video. Maybe to help people, because a lot of people have complained about it or asked for guidance.
I get it. It's also one of the things where you have like the most possibilities too, though.
Yeah.
Because like mountains grow in so many different ways, and you don't got to worry about bounding it with walls. Because yeah, you can just build up. I think it's the thing is like having like the option to build vertically and have it make sense is wild.
Lands.
Yeah.
Wild
God,
lands. Uh, yep.
please do a mountain building video, especially after all the new pieces come out.
Yeah. We will definitely during the Kickstarter do like an Uber compatibility.
That
Like
is
a
one of the
fun.
things we want to do, especially now that we've got this Twitch channel going. One of the things that we want to do is try to show everything we can, like use the channel to show as much as we can about what you can do with these pieces during the Kickstarter.
Is that like? I'm gonna try and pop this thing off. Let's see what happens. Whoa. Can we see?
The mountains video from a few months ago was helpful. I wasn't using the pieces as designed at all.
What was the mountains video from a few months ago?
Was it a build? Did we do a build of the month? Or I'm not sure.
I don't know. So that's using this.
I use Thor all the time, especially with the castle as a base. It worked amazing with the Dread Hollow pieces. Yeah, I think the mountains are just very easy to work into a lot of the other sets too.
Yeah, it's
It's
probably
nice
the most
thing.
universal set we have. So we've done a lot of stuff to expand it in cool ways.
There are mountains everywhere.
Yeah. You can use it to build caves. You can.
People are saying they're really happy with the amount of foliage and green on the new pieces. It helps kind of break it up and look more interesting.
All right. Now. Oof. All right. So, final piece to go with this. We show. Check this out. You like some Wyverstone, some Wyvernium. Are we in focus?
That's a nice scatter piece.
How ridiculous is that thing? Eh? Yeah, and it's designed to.
You can do some really interesting line of sight stuff with that for wargaming, actually.
No accident there, my friend. So so it fits really nicely in here, and you can also flip it around the other direction. You can do yeah. Yeah, so then it really blocks. It blocks line of sight in a huge way.
It's almost giving you
here.
parapets, but in like a mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crenellations. Let's come back out here so you can see that.
That could be an item in a campaign the party's looking for or something. Yeah, you could absolutely make like a MacGuffin or like some kind of world building situation regarding like why these stones exist.
Yeah, we will have a little lore, and we can, if people, obviously people will homebrew the heck out of their own cool things, and Yeah, yeah, I'm super excited, and this thing is going to be you're going to be able to use it in lots of ways, and it nestles up really nicely with this in a bunch of ways. So you can, for wargaming, you can you drop down a couple of things and really break up your battlefield in a nice way. Oh, there's so much cool stuff. You don't even like. I'm so excited. Yeah, so that's one of the new. So we had in the original. So the original Aranthor Mountains had this thing, which was kind of one of the defining. Let me see. It was kind of one of the defining looks of the whole thing, was these kind of spiky bits, but it didn't make. There wasn't a lot of stone logic to it, right? It's like, why the heck are these stones doing this? So I wanted to repeat that, but find a way to do, have this same sort of that cool, weird, jagged, upward energy that's really Aranthor Mountain-y, but do it in a cool way. So the team came up with the Wyverstone, which was.
That makes a lot of sense, honestly.
Yeah.
Like instead of it just being stone, it's like, no, this is some kind of other deposit that's here.
Yeah, it's magical.
That doesn't. Yeah, it's separate from the rest of the mountain, the rest of the rock.
Because if this is doing something that normal stone doesn't do, it's magical. So like, let's hang a lantern on it, make it really magical, make it a cool thing, and thus Wyvernium erupted from the ground.
I'm really excited to see the alternate paint schemes that people do for the stone as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun possibilities. Well, and that's the other thing, right? Is it gives you the Aranthor is pretty bland. It's basically gray and green. So this gave us another texture, both color wise, but also texturally. It's got these cool striations and these cool facets and things. So it's like just another way to break up the palette and make it even more interesting. And then you could go nuts. It's gonna be really interesting to see how people paint it.
It's like a really strong look and an item. Like this is absolutely a thing. Like when you look at it, but it's also kind of general enough that you can use it in a lot of different ways as well. So it just kind of it expands what you can do with the set a lot.
Well, also it's super friendly. Like this could be the planet Zarturi Prime 3. This is you could throw a bunch of Space Marines around on this and it wouldn't look weird, right? This could be some slightly alien landscape. So it would definitely lots of places you could pop it down. Here. All right, so we have one more piece to look at. Should we look at that first, or should we talk about some more stuff and then look at the piece?
Let's see if anybody has any question. Is the other piece also a mountains piece?
No.
No? Then let's see if there's any last-minute mountains questions, and then move on to the next thing.
Here's also, we have this. This piece is currently called.
Somebody's wondering about the giveaway. We should.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's give it away. Give it away.
Yeah,
give it away now.
Away.
So typed in Disco Ninjas. DISCONINJAS plural. One word. Disco Ninjas. Type it into the chat. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Giveaway! Woo! The rabbit.
It's Arget Kvikva.
Wow, you nailed that one.
They've been watching the streams for a long time. I want to get their name right because I really appreciate how often they're actually here.
Maybe they could type it phonetically in the chat to help us out.
I feel like they've explained it before. I'm just not very good.
Know your limitations. It's good. Well, congratulations, Arget Kvikva.
Arget Kvikva.
Arget Kvikva.
Oh, apparently I said it right.
Nice. Arget
I'm
Kvikva.
assuming it's like something Slavic. I'm assuming.
It sounds right.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. We will.
Yeah, I'll whisper at you. We'll get your info. That'll be a starter dungeon.
Woohoo!
It's Russian for cantilever.
Ha! I love it. Everything about it. All right, so should we look at our other piece and then talk about? Was there any questions about this thing? Oh, we need
there were a couple mountain questions.
This thing's called the stepped. What is it? The stepped Stump Butte right now, which
Step
is
Stump Butte.
yeah. So if anybody's got a better name for this, we could take it. Naming these pieces, like especially we've got 17
Like our
different hunks of
geyser.
rock is you know it's no easy feat. So if you got any ideas, because it's got a stump and it's stepped and it's a butte. We have a couple of buttes, like we're calling those large kind of vertically, high vertical silhouette pieces buttes.
Wow,
So
it's also
we'll take it.
got some Wyvernium chunks.
Yeah.
Rock 1, Rock 2, Rock 3.
Should
Wyverstone Ascent is one thing somebody's putting here.
not bad. Ascent is
Uh,
nice.
so Norwegianish. Oh, it's an Aragon character. Sorry, Arget's name.
I did not read that.
I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stick a stairway to violence next to it. Somebody says.
Yeah.
I want to know if there's a height footprint. The mountain of opportunity. The stairway to heaven.
The mountain of opportunity. Our viewers are the best.
The big butte. The horned stone. Let's see, stairs of silence.
Stairway to Silence.
Stairway to silence. Yeah, that's roughly the same height. Yeah.
That's the same footprint.
Huh, you actually can combine them, huh?
Modularity, baby.
Yeah, that doesn't play awfully.
No, there's a lot of fun. And if you put this on, let's see if we can do this. Is this going to be the height? No, it wants to be one higher. We're almost there. In the height. You know what we could do if the base. That's gonna be too low, isn't it? Oh, it might be a nice step up. We could do that. Huh? Bump, bump. Where's the rabbit? Rabbit burner! Where's the rabbit burner? Boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Wow, that's too... I need a wider... This is an 85. I need like a 70. Like not... Like just a little wider, but still in this nice... can never quite get those bigger pieces on camera.
Yeah, that's fair. No, at least not with how close that is. But you want to get all that detail too. So
I know. That's just like a little...
Everybody can fill it in.
Yeah.
I love how you can just drop that anywhere.
Yeah, these Wyverstone... and the thing is, I don't know if I want Wyverstone in the name of this one because I don't think has enough... it's not heavy enough Wyverstone to have it because we've got a bunch of other Wyverstone things. Like this is like a Wyverstone piece, right? It's like predominantly Wyverstone. It's a Wyverstone Spires.
We've got Dwayne the Stepped Rock Johnson. Somebody wants... Knighthood wants us to flip it over, see it flipped and stacked on the other. I don't know if we can.
It doesn't
do that.
really.
I'm not sure which piece he's talking about. I don't know if it'll work because of the Wyvernium.
Oh, he wants to flip this?
Yeah, I'm not sure which piece he wants to flip because the Wyvernium's going to make it kind of hard to flip it. Stairway to the Clouds. Put the other rock on top of Stairway to Violence. Man, that looks wild. I can't wait to see what people do with this stuff. Honestly.
Yeah.
We did have some people who were wondering if there are going to be any translucent pieces or any LED effects in the mountain pieces.
Yes. Spoiler says yes. We can do that.
Perfect.
All right. Any other mountain queries?
Any other mountain queries? Oh man, Wyvering Heights is a very good one.
Oh, that's...
You gotta use that as a pledge, right? One of the mountain pledges?
That's funny. It has to have Aranthor in the name, but maybe that's a pack of Wyverstone.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a really good pun.
Yeah, I love that.
Let's see.
Yeah, this would be very at home in the caverns.
Mountain cave entrance. People are wondering. I don't know if we can't give away everything.
No.
Let's see. Any other mountain questions? I'm not actually seeing anything. People are mostly just really, really happy with it.
Okay.
From what I'm seeing.
Then we've done our job. All right, so we got one more piece. It's not a surprise because you've seen it in the teasers, but I don't want to look at it in person because Did I already show this? Maybe I don't know. This is the Quildren tree.
I'm sure some people have it. I think you showed off a picture of it, but
Yeah, it's in the teaser
I remember you bringing
materials.
up the name that, of course, Eli thought up because he knows every language on the planet.
It's just Middle Welsh. Don't get crazy.
It's just Middle Welsh.
It's a mashup of
We did have somebody wondering how many different tree types we'd have, uh, which I don't think we can give an answer on
a lot.
before
Go
launch.
look
But
at
yeah, a
go
lot.
look at the teaser.
There's a lot of new trees coming,
Yeah,
and they all look
basically
gorgeous.
as many as we could do without running out of SKUs. If that man, I can't even get this thing in the shot. I'm going further back.
That is gorgeous. I love the like kind of otherworldly feel to the paint on the leaves as well.
Yeah,
Like it feels like a little supernatural.
Hamster did this one. Well, this is a Fey. This is a tree native to the Feywild. The Fey
Can we get a
Helix.
somebody wants to know if we can get a close up on the tree so they can really see those vines and everything
Yeah.
wrapping around it.
Well, first we'll do a wide here,
Yeah,
and
we'll
then
do
we'll
the
go
white
close.
first, but
This is the Quildren tree. It's native to the Feywild, and it has some magical properties, which we won't reveal now. And like, it's gonna be expensive because it's really the factory like freaked out when they saw this. They're like, how are we like? There's like it's gonna be like 6 pieces, and it's a mess. There's nothing friendly about it. And this is the simplified version. Originally, Eli had like the helix was even crazier in there, and like, well, it's
I
well,
mean that's the eternal struggle of like art versus the
yeah, commerce.
art versus well, not just commerce but like art versus technology. You know,
Yeah,
like
what can we
the
actually make?
limitations of the technology. How do you still realize the full artistic vision?
And we push, our factory. We have very good partners in our factory. We really push the envelope on what they can do, and they do everything in their power to be able to pull it off. But some of these are tough. So there's
I love this tree. It's one of my favorite ones,
yeah,
honestly.
no, it's a showpiece. It's a real
I'm just having like major flashbacks to like being a kid and like wandering through like the wooded areas
yeah.
in town and everything, and just finding like these because yeah, like when you come across a tree like this in nature, just like in your life, where it has like that huge like split trunk, it's wild.
Well, and what's cool about this is if you put it like you could make an open grove and put this in the middle, and it's like it's this really cool, important, magical tree. But you can also, if you mix it in with a bunch of regular trees, it just gives you kind of like an enchanted forest sort of feel, but it's not like totally out of it jives with the rest of the Dread Hollow, and it
It's
gives
also also a good hiding spot for halflings.
dude, what isn't a good hiding spot for halflings? Yeah,
That'd be perfect for a dryad tree. I know in D&D they're only in oaks, but it still looks like a tree a dryad might live in. Yeah, like this. There's something like otherworldly to this tree, right?
yeah,
Like
no
there's something
accent.
about it that feels like it's more than just a tree.
Yeah, it's supposed to be very magical, and splashes of color. Right, we needed some more color in the palette. Dread Hollow it needs a little more variety. So
Is that like purple accents on the leaves?
iridescence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so good.
Hamster did this one. Yeah, I think it was Hamster. Yeah, I can't. I'm getting confused now. Which one's Hamster did? Which one Aaron did? Um, yeah, it's a pretty cool one. The Quildren, Cwyldren, Quildren. Eli will probably chime in that I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I don't care.
I
That's
don't know.
not.
I don't know if he's here. I don't think he is.
He's probably sculpting or
Most
sleeping.
likely,
Sleeping
he's.
so he can. He's been sculpting like I don't know, 14 hours a day or something.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's why we get
Yeah.
things like this.
Yeah. Yeah. You get like you try and talk to Nina, you get like a 4-word response because she's like, just gotta be sculpting.
But it's paying off though. Like
Oh
genuinely,
yeah.
like I don't know.
Yeah.
We said it earlier. Like genuinely, this feels like one of, if not the best, like just collection of pieces we've had.
It's the best we've done. It's really it's the breadth of the offering and the It's like it's really yeah. Let's go back to this. It's gonna be it's amazing work. I'm very 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 excited. And you know what? We'll see. No promises, but Stefan said that he was going to attempt to do a limited edition collector's item resin piece for it. So it'll be first time he hasn't sculpted in 3 years on this. Like he hasn't done anything on Caverns Deep. He hasn't done anything on Hellscape. He hasn't done anything on Wildlands. So this would be the first new Stefan piece in here in a while. So we'll see if it comes together. But he's got plans to do a thing. Sort of all what we did with like the the Dread Portal from Hellscape, where we had this cool limited edition resin thing that you could just get in the Kickstarter. So he's talking about doing some cool art piece. So we will see.
So you're saying we cut the 3-foot monstrous rat that he was going to be carving as a stretch goal?
Well, it was 4 feet. It was life size and life size New York City rat. Like,
unfortunately, it comes with a little like slice of pizza add-on pack.
Yeah. You can just drag around. So, all right. So let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about a couple more things about Wildlands. So, stretch goals, which are always, for whatever reason, controversial. People like to get worked up about stretch goals. So what we're doing. So I was hoping to do this sort of buy-in system for build your own Wildlands, where you could price into stretch goal buckets or canoes or backpacks or whatever you want to call them. It's not going to work out for a variety of reasons. One is you could game the system because you can buy the pledges as add-ons. You could go into build your own Wildlands and then buy the Uber pledge that gets 4 of each stretch goal bucket, and then qualify for like an additional 6 free stretch goal buckets because of the money you're spending there. So there was like weird circular, because the pledges can be also bought as add-ons, and we want to maintain the ability to buy pledges as add-ons. So that kind of ruined it. And then executionally, it was going to be really hard in the pledge manager and whatever. So we've eliminated that idea. But I think that we're going to have. I think there will be enough ways to buy in that if you're just doing a build your own thing, you can still participate. Like you can get a starter, a trail mix pack, what do you call it? Like this, one of these starter packs, and get some stretch goals through that, and then buy add-ons from there. I think there's going to be, I don't know, depending on obviously how much you want to spend. I think the offerings are going to be, there won't be much redundancy in the thing. Like if you want to get a kind of focused thing, I think you can get a pretty good, one of the pledges, and then just add a bunch of add-ons from there. So we'll see. I think it'll still work. And also you can just buy the add-on pack, at the end in the pledge manager, whatever we unlock will then price that whole thing out. You can buy that pack too, so you can participate that way. But other than that, we're trying to keep the stretch goals. We're updating all these graphics and all these things. Like it's so the back end on it is so complicated. Like you have no idea how much like stress and complication and proofing and whatever. So we're trying really hard to make it simple. So we're literally going to have, there's a small selection of stretch goals that go into the starter packs, small selection of stretch goals that go into the wargame packs, and then there's the 3 specific themed or zoned stretch goal buckets, and that'll be it. So we're not gonna have 1,000 graphics to update. Those will update, and it'll just be universal. You get 1 of those, or 2 of those, or 3 of those, or 4 of those, or whatever of those buckets, and go from there. I think that's it on stretch goals. Does anybody have any questions about stretch goals?
Yeah, we've got a couple still. If anybody has any questions after all this, go ahead and put them in here. I'll be picking some out for Nate. Odin Forged is here, and he's saying we've seen some swamp beans, we've seen some mountain beans. Are there any outstanding forest beans?
I mean, we just saw the Quilladrin tree, but
that is fair.
Yeah,
you can drop it in the swamp or the forest, honestly.
You can put it anywhere. You can put it in a mountain. Put it on the top of a cool mountain peak. It's like, it won't.
You can put it in Hellscape if you want to. Who's gonna stop you?
All right, let's not get crazy, Chris. Come on. You've gone too far. We don't have any. I didn't bring any more pieces home, so sorry, Odin. This is all I got. But here, we can go back to the. Uh, does anybody have any stretch goal questions? Are there or comments?
Um, Nothing regarding stretch goals so
Good.
far. We've had a couple people asking for some other things we've talked about or shown on stream, uh, particularly the waterfalls.
Eli is sculpting them as we speak.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What are the stretch goal packs going to be like? Bits and bobs?
Bits and bobs. Things to give you more variety. Maybe we'll repeat some. Oh, this way. Maybe we'll repeat some small core pieces if they're useful and having some extra multiples. We'll unlock some new sculpts and put them in there also. Um, Mostly, just a lot of MacGuffin-y bits and decorative bits, and it's not going to be like, you're not going to have like this is not going to be, this isn't going to be a stretch goal. This guy, like, it'll be more like these sort of like things like this little ledge piece that then can give you modularity. If you already got mountains, this will give you some modularity, some options.
How many of the large pieces like the tree will be available as standalone add-ons?
Uh, it'll probably be in a pack, so it's not it's doing packs of single pieces isn't very good for us. But so it'll probably be in a, everything will be in packs, and we'll ideally, ideally the packs will cost between $25 and $100. Generally, hopefully hitting between like 50 and $60, so that you can target the ones that you're most excited about and really get the most bang for your buck. Like if you're going in, you're like, listen, I only have $500, and I really want to just get some specific forest stuff, a couple things with the cool McGuffins. Like hopefully you can really hone in and get the things that you're excited about. Or if you want to buy 6 quildren trees, you will have a pack that there won't be a ton of other stuff in the pack. It'll be like kind of maybe like a Fae themed thing or something. I don't know. I haven't done all the sub packs yet, but they'll be broken out into digestible bits that make sense. That should be exciting.
Outside of pledges and stretch goals, will there be other packs? I think we just answered that one.
Yep, there'll be a bunch of add-ons, and the pledges will be made up of component packs that will break out. So all this stuff. So if you see something really cool in the pledge, you don't want to get the whole pledge. You can, you'll be able to get the pieces there as separate packs.
We've got Knighthood is wondering if there will be other pieces that have little small animals and details like the one we showed today, which yeah,
this guy,
our sculptors love doing that.
This one has this natural bridge has a critter under there. There's all sorts of fun little hidden bits. Let's talk about the live streams real quick. So
yes.
Oh, and then queue up your worries. Like, let us know if is there anything that you're worried about that we haven't yet addressed? As we'd love to just have everything in the hopper. Like, is there any are there any chinks in the armor that we need to fill up? So the plan is we're gonna stream 7 days a week for the entire Kickstarter. And so the default will be every day at 7 p.m. We're gonna do like a half an hour Q&A live stream. It'll be an update. It'll be the live stream version of that day's update. So we'll send an update, the print update, and then go live sort of all at the same time and show off. Hey, today we unlocked this quildren tree. It's in the add-on pack. It's whatever. Blah blah. We'll field your questions. We'll show off the latest stuff. Talk about the latest news, and it'll be probably short. Probably about a half an hour or something.
Yeah.
So that's the default, and then we'll have some special events. We're gonna do some live wargaming, which should be really fun. We don't know exactly what form that's going to be just yet.
We've been kicking around some really cool ideas with that. I'm excited for where it's going.
It's going to be neat. And we're going to do at least one of those will be UK friendly. It'll be at like 1 in the afternoon or 2 in the afternoon US Eastern time or something on a Saturday. So you can watch it if you're in the UK or in Germany or whatever. We're going to do a couple of D&D games, which will be really fun. There'll be like 2-hour rapid fire onslaught of madness. And the same thing will. Oh no, those are both on the weekdays, aren't they? They're both weekdays at the same time. But there'll be one sort of near the beginning and one near the end, and we'll sort of reveal some stuff. There'll be the first you'll see some of these bits. Um, we're gonna do some paint streams. Although has anyone talked to Erin yet? She doesn't know about this yet, does she?
Not yet. I can
Okay.
I can bring it up. I know that if she's not around, I did talk to Hamster about it when we were going over the wargaming stuff, just mentioning what we were thinking about. He was thinking it'd be nice. But
Yeah.
it's just one of the things we are thinking of is it might be nice to just do some detail painting streams on some of the pieces throughout the Kickstarter. Ideally, what we would really like to do is use this channel as a way to have like a more real time connection with where all of you guys at as we're doing it, so that when there's questions and concerns, we can address it quickly and on
Yep.
stream, show you practical demos as often as possible, uh, kind of just help you understand the pieces and the campaign better, and also give us a better understanding of how things are coming off to you guys so that we can address problems in real time,
Yeah, you guys,
basically.
you're really good at pointing out the things that don't make sense, or and telling us the things you're excited about. Say, hey, we need to see more of this or whatever. Like we value that feedback, and it's part of why we do Kickstarters, because we're able to make the final. We can tailor the final product to your needs and requests and ideas as we get them. But for for the paint stream, one of the ideas, which I think was yours, right? It was, or somebody, it was really cool. It was like, so we're the factory paint scheme on these pieces is, it's going to be relatively simple. There's not going to be 1,000 different highlight colors of things. So it is like Aaron can go in and take the factory paint scheme on like a swamp bank and say, hey, now if we could paint up, this little thing could become purple, this thing could become orange, this little snake could become green or whatever, and then sort of go pick out a bunch of the details and show you some of the cool details on there, and B, give you some ideas of how you could punch up your stuff. You could get pre-painted and then add some little details if you want, or if you're painting your own, give you some ideas there, which would be really fun.
Basically, that spirit tree we showed earlier, how he had like really made it like pop a lot more. We're basically
Yeah,
thinking about
where
that,
is
where
my
we take something
spreadsheet?
that has the base paint on and just going through and showing all the little stuff and like showing you like how you can paint your pieces to look even better.
Where is my spreadsheet?
Basically, um,
Yeah.
we got a lot of people worried about.
Wait,
A
let's
lot of
not.
people worry
Wait,
about
wait,
money
wait, wait, wait
just
for
because.
worries.
Yeah.
Wait
Oh
on
yeah, yeah.
worries for a second. So here's like the factory. Oh, I'm sure the factory painted spirit tree definitely doesn't have all those details popped out. It's got a bunch though. It's surprising. Um. Then the other things we're gonna do on the live streams are, we'll do a couple of deep dive segments. We'll do like a deep dive segment on each zone. So we'll do like a forest deep dive, a swamp deep dive, and a mountains deep dive. Maybe one per week, and sort of do a long, building and taking build requests and talking about it and showing all the compatibility and whatever. And whatnot. We'll also probably do some live build requests or whatever, like at the beginning of a thing. You can give Toby a hey, can you build a whatever, and then we'll just stream, and then half an hour later, he'll show off what he built, which would be really fun. I think that's the core idea. So anyway, if there's anything you'd like to see us live stream, is there anything that would be really helpful? Let us know. We'll try and slate it in the lineup. And okay, now worries. Let her rip.
All right. There's a lot of people who are worried about money, which makes sense given
Yeah.
the state of things, which is also partially why we're trying to approach the Kickstarter the way that we are this time around.
Well, we
Um,
we wish, in a perfect world, we could sit on this until next spring when the economy's bounced back and whatever, but we can't. Like we're worried about money too, and we've got to get this out. Like if we don't do it now, we're in a bunch of trouble, and um, yeah. So we've got to roll it out now, and we're gonna hope for the best. But I think there's a lot of, I think there will be, I think the $75 pledges will be attractive. I think there's some good stuff. The Hellraiser pledge in Hellscape did pretty well. Like there were several hundred people that got in and were like, okay, this is $60 or $55 painted. You get a bunch of cool stuff, and also you can go in, pledge $1, pledge 10, I guess $10 to get in, and then go in the pledge manager and add, or just start $100 and put in another 100 in the pledge manager, and just you'll be able to get some stuff. Like there's gonna be a lot of good packs that'll be between 25 and $50 or something, so you can get some meaningful bits. But yeah, we wish it could be. We wish it was not. We didn't want to have to launch in the middle of a pandemic and an economic recession, but
unfortunately, it's just we gotta stay in business. There's a concern that the Dread Hollow expansion is going to move away from doing like floor coverage to using terrain trays.
Nope, there's
which
floors.
I think we're planning on we are launching floor pieces for the forest with this. It's not, the plan isn't to use terrain trays for the forest.
Nope, there will be a forest with a terrain tray base, and then there will be there'll be forest with sculpted floors. There's the problem. I mean, the challenge is they're really expensive, and so like doing a 2x2, you're looking at, it's like $600 or $700 just to cover the 2 foot by 2 foot with floors. But there will be floors, and there will be some compatibility floors, like 2x2s and 1x1s stuff, so you can insert your city builder stuff in line, or your dungeons in line, or whatever. And there's some really cool, there's some great floor options, and then options if you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on floors too. So
there's also some concerns regarding FOMO, and wondering like if there's any way to know ahead of time like which pieces will be unavailable to get later and which will only be available in the Kickstarter.
The only thing that will be, that's a great question, right? So the only thing, any limited edition, we might do a couple of limited edition resin collector's pieces, which will only be available during the Kickstarter, similar to how we did the Dread Portal and the Hellgate remastered, or the Hellscape, or the Den of Evil Hellscape Gate remastered in Hellscape. But there won't be too many. It'll just be a couple of resin pieces of the only limited edition thing. But that being said, some of the sets, some of the exact configurations might not be something we end up restocking or whatever. So like the only way to guarantee that you have everything in stock and in this exact configuration is to get it on the Kickstarter. But it's our intention to keep producing this line for decades.
It's part of why we're approaching it the way that we are, right? Is we're trying to go about it in a way where the way that these pieces have been designed, the way that these sets have been planned out, the way these packs have been planned out, is to hopefully make them all viable to keep restocking in the future.
Yes. Unlike Caverns Deep, which was too many sets with too many paint jobs, with too many low multiples of weird specific pieces. Those are much harder to stock. This will hopefully be a sustainable collection of sets. But we'll see. We don't have it all figured out yet, but hopefully all this stuff will be available in the web store, after it fulfills and beyond.
Can we get a little write-up of the pledges in the forums? That is something I could do. We could take the info.
No. Well, just because it's going to change. Like, I don't, like,
Fair.
We have 5.5 weeks till launch. So it's like, it's already changed in 2 weeks since we were first talking about it. So like, I don't want to get people's, I don't know. I don't want to put it out in writing yet, because it will still evolve. It's just like a sculpt or a painting or a thing where you kind of keep chipping away at it and keep letting it evolve. But it'd be generally what we pitched here. But I don't want to get people's hopes up or down or whatever, because it's, we're gonna keep refining it to make the best possible offering we can right up until launch. Like, we'll probably be fiddling with stuff right up until the end. But we're gonna do our damnedest to give you the most options with the lowest, the lowest prices possible for the best buy-ins possible.
We got somebody asking if we're going to have a module for Wildlands.
TBD.
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
It's a whole other project to take on top of.
We still haven't fulfilled the Caverns Deep one, and it's really I don't know. I desperately want to. Oh, I wrote back to Tara. I desperately want to. I want to finish out the trilogy. I had a whole elaborate outline written and stuff, but I don't know. We're like, we will see. We'll see what we can do. If if you really want one, keep putting the requests in, like blast it in the comments and the forums and whatever, and see if you can get a critical mass of people to. It seems like a lot of people don't care that much. Some people care. Like there's definitely some people, Tommy at Gen Con who printed it out and had to sign it. So there's definitely some people who are into it and care, but I don't think the vast majority of people of our backers really care about it. So I don't know. Let us
Well,
know.
that's been the thing with the encounter system, right? Is we've had when it came to the encounters, like the encounters in a lot of ways were helpful for doing stuff like modules,
Mm-hmm.
um, because it gives you like a very specific way to plan it out. Uh, and we're not going with an encounter based approach this time, and we've had some people say that they do like the idea of encounters just because it's cool to like give like a narrative spin to like a
there
build and
there's
all.
I don't have the capability of doing a build without a narrative spin. So don't worry. There will be some cool names, and these things have a focal point. You'll look at it and go, "Oh man, yeah, I could do this." And we'll do some alternate builds, so it's like, "Oh yeah, you could also do this sort of challenge and whatever." Like they already have, like, you look at them and you're like, "Oh, there's a story there." Like that's the fun, is building these little scenes where you look at it and you're like, "Oh, there's danger afoot." Like there will be narrative component, but I don't know how we're going to. I don't know exactly how we're going to package it and how elaborate it's going to be in terms of actually a write up, because it's just been murder for us. The last two were, and like I said, we haven't even finished. We still owe the Cavernous Deep module, and that's been, I don't know, 2 years
Well, the
later.
absolute size of that, like the size of Caverns Deep.
Oh yeah, it's hundreds of
Uh,
pages, and it's like it's just the formatting alone, the copy editing, the playtesting, it's so much, and we don't monetize it. Like that's the other thing, we just give it away for free. So it's like it's an enormous amount of effort, and it's like, I don't know. So we'll see. But hey, keep if you guys really are into the module, just keep beating that drum. Uh, so at least, I don't know. We'll see what sort of the interest level is. Um,
yeah.
we'll get there, and it's easy enough to retrofit, because all this is sort of based off. Yeah, it's the elements are there to put it together if we need to, if we get inspired. I mean, we want to. I want to do it so badly. I just don't, like. There's limited time, right?
Yeah, you have to allocate your resources in the right place to make sure that we even get this out in the first place.
Yep. Which is why
Yeah.
we're not doing on the Anvil every week, which is why we're not doing Build of the Month, which is why we're holding Dwarven Quarterly. This is why, like, we're just sort of all hands on deck to just get Wildlands out, and we'll get there.
But man, once it's out, we're gonna go crazy.
I did have a wait. It reminded me. Oh, this is a question for people. Is there a market, like? Would people be interested in a pledge? And I don't know if I can pull it off in time or whatever, but so we have the Wargame Scatter pledge. So we have the starter scatter 75 painted, Wargame Scatter at 250 painted, up into the swamp 2x2 at 600. Would people be interested in a scatter pledge that's about $400, that was like an adventure scatter? It's got all the cool RPG stuff or whatever. It's not as expensive as the it's not as expensive as the full 2x2 with the terrain trays and whatnot. But it would be the same thing. You choose your flavor. It's forest, mountain, or swamp. The other one we could do is, we could also just offer that pledge level without the flooring, which, I don't know, knocks $75 out of it, or $100 out of it, or something, and it just might be confusing. I don't know. Would that be something? I was going to do it as an add-on, but we could do it as a pledge. Is that something people think would be a sweet spot, like a 400 or 450 pledge of cool adventure scatter in each of the three themes?
Um, Somebody's saying they love the scatter terrain idea. There is one question actually. Do the $600 pledges include all the pieces for that zone?
No, no. Particularly the mountain doesn't like. Uh, no, they will include enough pieces to build a bunch of cool things, but it won't be everything from that zone, right? It'll be close. I don't know. We'll see, but it'll be a very good sampling of that zone. It might not have all the specialty pieces, but it'd be enough to do, a bunch of different encounters in that zone.
Yeah, the point is for it to be able to give you like the complete feel of that zone,
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
right?
It's
Where you can
like
basically do everything the zone was meant to do. You might not have every single option open, but
right. You don't need
yeah,
6 different varieties of trees in the forest to do a whole bunch of tree encounters, right? Like you could have 3 different varieties of trees in there and still be able to do a whole bunch of things, but you don't, you get the big Uber one to get all the varieties of trees, but like you can still do kind of all the stuff or whatever. So it'll be the essence of the zone at an affordable for Dwarven Forge price.
um,
So no traction on the 450 $450 pledge. All right, it's less pledges. I mean, I don't
no,
want
there's
to.
a couple.
Yeah,
One says they love the scatter terrain idea. One says I'd buy that. $400 is a nice level to be at, and even buying double for larger coverage.
yeah.
Blackout Sun says they'd be able to do it. Yeah, it seems like
Okay.
the people who are responding to it, nobody's saying they don't like it. Um,
If I
Keep it
can, if
simple.
I
People
can
who want
get
the max
the, if
budget.
I can get the $600 pledge to if all 3 of those can be the same price, then we could probably do it. So we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, doubled 18. That would give us a total of 20 pledges, including painted and unpainted. So I think we could do that. If I can get the other one to hit all of them to hit 600, it's the mountains that are going to kill us. There's some big price. Cool. Are there any other worries or questions, or should we? What's the time? Is it? It's nine
It's
twelve.
nine
We should get out of
twelve.
here. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, there's a couple others. Uh, Dragos hopes the Uber pledge isn't too duplicative. Cavern Steep ended up with way more trifecta terrain than he really wanted or needed.
Well, I think you can ever have enough trifecta terrain because it does everything. But 100% agree with you. So the Uber pledge is gonna. I very specifically tried to dodge what I'd done with, in the Dungeon of Doom and in Caverns Deep. You ended up, you had 400 straight walls and corners or whatever. Like there was, you had too much of some stuff and not enough of the other. So they're designed to be the fantastic selection of each zone. And it's because it's not cumulative encounters, right? It's the Uber pledge is one giant swamp bundle, one giant forest bundle, one giant mountain bundle, and a whole bunch of stretch goals, and a couple bonus packs. So it's like it can be very focused. Like I'm just this is everything you need to make every swamp you could ever imagine, 3 foot by 3 foot. Like it's going to be a really good selection of stuff. I mean, in fact, there's still room to buy a bunch of add-ons on top of it because like there might be things that you want more of or whatever. But it will not be, there's I don't think like based on the swamp, there's not more than I think the highest multiple of any piece in there is like 7 or 8 of like a specific Banks piece. The forest, there's like one of the floors has a very high multiple, but it's the one you're going to want to use all the time. But nothing else like there's a lot of things that are 1s and 2s in there, and sort of all the basic pieces you'd want are just enough to give coverage. So yeah, it's very very designed to sort of give you just like the max, like the perfect selection of all these things. Particularly if you already have a Dread Hollow Forest and an Aranthor Mountain set, like it's going to be everything you could dream of. Yeah.
Um, would backers be able to pick types of trees?
No, there'll be some tree packs, so you can get like a pack that has, I haven't built them all yet, but there'll be sort of like kind of themed packs of trees that'll have, but there won't be like, you can't just buy trees a la carte, but you will be able to buy some packs that are, like I think like the conifers will be in a pack, large and small, so you could like just get some of those or whatnot. But yeah, we'll give you as much variety as we can, but there's not going to be, I don't know. We had like 600 sets in Caverns Deep between all the paint varieties and whatever. It's not going to be like that. So it'd be as much variety as we can offer while still being able to deliver on time and be able to restock the web store.
Um, we had a couple questions wondering like what makes a successful Kickstarter for us.
Um, I guess it defines what metric you define success by. Financially, we want to break 2 million. Artistically, we'd like to have more backers. Like we'd love, we want, if we can have a bunch of really excited people show up, then we win, right? If we could get more backers than Caverns Deep, or more backers than what KS1 was our biggest yet or something, more backers would be a huge victory for us. And then just like tons of excited comments and interactions on live stream, and people going nuts for the pieces. It's like that's the payoff. And if we, I think if we do it, if we're not so exhausted that we're miserable at the end, that would be a really. Because I feel like we kind of end like
From a mental health standpoint.
Usually end these things and you're just like too tired to even celebrate. And then there's just that weird thing where you don't know what to do the day after it's over. You're just sort of like, you feel like you have no purpose. Like it's weird. Like it's weird. You've just been like sprinting this marathon for so long, and then you're like, what do we do now? So yeah, if it could be a sustainable, like if we can finish it and have everybody in good mental health, that'll be a big victory for our workflow. Mostly we're just hoping people get really excited when we launch the thing, and are just going nuts, and telling us all the things that they're super excited about, and not too much annoying whining. Like there's valid complaints, right? There we get a lot of really good feedback where people poke holes in things that don't make sense, and there's like, this pack doesn't make sense, or this thing could be, whatever. There's some very valid things that that you guys catch, and then there's some of the stupid stuff that are just, or everybody complaining that stuff's expensive, and like, yeah, we wish it could be cheaper. It's like, it's the reality. Like it's just getting more and more expensive to create a weird specialty thing like this. The world economy is getting, like, everything, like, trade with China is getting messed up. Like there's a whole bunch of, it's there's so many factors beyond our control that drive this stuff up. So it's like, it is what it is. But hopefully a lot, lots of good positive comments and good vibes, and I don't know what else we have for success. That's a very, very, very good question.
Yeah. It's definitely, I don't know. Well, it's interesting because like pretty much everybody that works here is passionate about it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
which is why we get the pieces that we get, right? Like when it got like the tree that you showed off, like that wasn't just, Eli didn't just go like, well, I guess I got to sculpt a tree and just technically sculpted a tree. He got excited by the idea of making this really interesting like fey
Yes.
tree that you can't get anywhere else,
Well,
and he put a bunch of time into making it.
that's part of this bigger thing, and everybody is adding into this thing, and it's all tied together, right? It's not just, none of these are created in a vacuum, and it's related to other things that are happening in there. So some of these themes in the tree are showing up in other places, and then the inspired sculpt gets painted by inspired painters, and then the graphics team sees that and they're like, oh, well, we got to one up this, and we're gonna like, how are we gonna dazzle it and make it look amazing, and like, so everybody is throwing into this stew to make it like nuts, and it's really, being part of that is just the best. Like having so many creative people just full throttle putting in so many good ideas, so much talent all in one place. It's like, I don't know, we get to create things that nobody else in the world could, and it's the best. And so that's the that's really the success. If we can launch the thing, people get excited, we fund it, and it gets out there and it gets on people's tables. And in a year, you guys are going to be telling these stories around. You'll be gathered around the Quildren tree telling some epic story together, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And then I know I was only on for Hellscape and then this, but I know one of the things specifically with the Twitch channel and everything, one of the things I would consider successful is if in this Kickstarter, uh, we're never gonna be able to get like 100%, but like if a majority of the people that come and see the Kickstarter understand it entirely and they all are happy with the process, they all feel like they got their questions answered, they all feel like they understand everything. Like if they're all satisfied, if we have less fires and like sudden things come up that we realize we have to fix in the middle of it, and we're able to like handle all the problems and bumps in the road like really gracefully, I think that's another mark of like success for me when it comes to this.
Well, that's the clarity is always a challenge for us because we've been looking at these pieces for so long and all this stuff. So like making sure it's clear to people when they show up is a big one, and then giving people meaningful interactions, right? Like we want people to walk away feeling like, man, those guys worked as hard as they could to listen to what we were saying, to react to us, to be to interact with us, take our feedback, and adjust the trajectory best they could to really kind of I don't know, to work with the backers, be part of the process. It was it's amazing, and have them walk away and go, man, that was fun. I'm so glad I was able to be part of that and interact with those guys and keep inspiring them.
Which has been one of the cool things about the streams too. Like the fact that like you showed off that piece today. You showed off that mountain piece that like was sculpted on stream. Yeah. Like it's cool. And it's got like a detail that a viewer suggested on it. And it's cool to have that. I don't know.
I think these plants were a viewer too or something. I don't remember the whole process, but definitely the moth was, and yeah. No, it's really it's fun, but interacting with that's such a good payoff for us. Is that like that back and forth? It's yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah. Well,
any others?
It's 9:20.
All right, let's get it.
I mean, there's tons of questions.
All right, well
gonna get through them all.
That's a pretty good one to end on.
There's been some pledge manager questions, wondering like when it's gonna be, like how long it'll be open, when it'll be open. If you just have like it's generally open for about a month, right? Like,
yeah, it'll probably launch at the end of September and close at the end of October, if I was gonna guess. But it's cool. I don't know that like we have to launch first and we have to get through it, and then we'll get there when we get there. Yeah, but it should be it'll probably launch a month after, and probably close end of October. So there's some time to add additional funds if like a lot of people, it's if you're out of a job or whatever, you can throw in $100 in the beginning, and then in October throw in another $100, and we'll go from there.
Excellent.
Yeah. Well, write down the rest of. If there's any other good stuff, write them down for future.
If you have other stuff you want to say, other feedback, there's a lot. There's over 100. There's 113 of you right now, and there was 150 for most of the stream. So we can't really.
Well, you can email
all the questions.
You can email us at OTA on the Anvil, OTA@dwarvenforge.com. If you have thoughts and questions.
We also are watching the forums and the Discord as well. If you wanted to post the questions there.
And sign up for our Wildlands updates at dwarvenforge.com/wildlands. And we'll send out our launch email. We'll probably send out a pre-launch email. And we'll send an email out right before Wildlands ends. And if nothing else, just pledge $1 and watch all the shenanigans. Watch the live streams. Watch the numbers go up. Watch all the fun stuff.
I'm really excited for this process just because we got a lot of cool ideas for like streams we can do during the Kickstarter, and I hope that we get to pull them all off.
And let us know if you've got ideas. If there's things that you'd like to see on stream that would be helpful to you. Let us know. We are listening. That's why we're doing this. We love hearing your ideas, and we love giving back as much as we can. So
Yeah.
thanks for hanging out with us. This was a long one, 2.5 hours. Whew. And
Yeah, we went for a while. I mean, we revealed a lot of stuff today.
yeah,
Uh,
and we're gonna be back. I don't know. I took my calendar to the
are you
office.
coming back in 2 weeks again? Things are
Three
just a little
weeks.
in flux as we get ready for the Kickstarter. We're trying to get
Shoot,
some stuff on this channel, but everybody's really busy right now getting ready to launch the Kickstarter.
we're
Um,
shooting for 2 weeks, starting on the 6th. So maybe the week after that, whatever that is, the
yeah.
25th or something. Um, Somewhere around
Well,
then would be the earliest. And then actually, that's probably the last. We probably won't. Yeah, it's probably that one because then the next week is the week before launch, so we probably won't go up there. But Stefan's gonna run a game at Gen Con. Actually, Stefan's running. He's got a whole bunch of games. When are they? He's at Founders and Legends. He's running the big Saturday night game, Founders and Legends, on the 18th of this month, and then he's running something at San Diego Comic Con, and then he's running a game at Gen Con, which I think is going to be, or Digital Gen Con. I think it's going to be on the 1st, and he'll hopefully have a couple Wildlands pieces on the table there. It should be fun. So we'll have a couple of he'll have a couple of games. We'll have one more on the Anvil, and then mostly we'll be kind of off the air until we launch, and then we'll be on the air nonstop. You'll get sick of us. It'll be good. So
excellent.
before you get sick of us, we're going to say goodnight. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us and giving us your ideas and your comments and your feedback. Let us know your thoughts. You can email us, post in Discord. Let us know. We want to hear what you're thinking. And we're really excited to launch this thing in 5.5 weeks, show you all the cool stuff we've been working on, and see where it all goes. So we'll see you there. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good night. Bye.